I'd like to call the May 12th, 2025 City Council meeting to order, please. First, we would like to have Pastor Yvonne Hodges from the Solid Rock Mountain Church to come forward. If we could get everyone to stand, and welcome.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I lift the mayor, city officials, and all other decision-making persons that are associated with this meeting. Please guide their words during this meeting. Help them to communicate openly, honestly, and respectfully with one another. Help them to keep the community needs in the forefront. May they listen with empathy and speak with integrity, ensuring that their conversation lead to understanding and clarity. I pray that they find common ground and work in unity during this meeting. Let their talents come together in harmony. May they achieve great things through teamwork. Amen.
Amen. And we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor, would you like to come up and tell us about your church and your community? Tell us where you're located.
Good evening again. The name of my church is the Solid Rock Bible Church. We're located at 5464 Muscat Road in Hope Mills, North Carolina. Whenever you have a vacant moment, please come and visit us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we will go to announcements. Council, does anybody have any announcements they would like to? All right. Council Member Banks McLaughlin.
There we go. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to recognize this is May month, the What a Month of May, and we're celebrating the National Mental Health Awareness Month, National Foster Care Month, National Physical Fitness and Sports, National Military Appreciation Month, National Hispanic Heritage Month, National Teacher Appreciation Month, National Pet Month, and National Barbecue Month. And I also just want to make mention that on May 15th, from 10 to 2 at Festival Park, we're having an ECD annual stand down, so please come out and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Banks McLaughlin. Councilmember Hare.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I have a couple of announcements that I would like to make everyone aware of. May the 17th, the As One Prayer Walk will be in Festival Park, and that will begin at 9 a.m. If no one in here has ever been a part of the prayer walk, is where prayer warriors or those that believe in prayer come together and walk throughout the city and pray, not only for our government, but for our children, our libraries, and along that line. So that will be May the 17th, beginning at 9 a.m. We start up in Festival Park, and then we go around throughout and then come back to Festival Park for celebrations. Also, this is a little ways off, but a very great opportunity to mark your calendar. the main sponsor, Beta Chi chapter of Omega Psi Phi Incorporated, with its many, many partners to include Cumberland County and the Theory Group, we will be having our 8th annual HBCU College Experience. That will be August the 16th, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we have grown so much that we have moved from Smith Recreation Center. Now we're in the Crown Expo Center, 1916 Coliseum Drive, out by the Crown Coliseum. That would be August the 16th, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is for our graduating seniors. So those that are getting ready to graduate, headed off to college, what a great way to connect, especially with the historical black colleges. We would greatly love to have your children there. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilmember Hare. We also have Councilmember Benavente on the phone, so I will go to you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Hope everyone can hear me all right. Okay, assuming that that's true.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Just wanted to clarify, Hispanic Heritage Month is actually in September through October. May is, however, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So I wanted to make sure that folks knew that we were recognizing all the great contributions of our Asian American community here in Fayetteville. I'm proud to be the first Asian American elected in the city's history. It's high time that more of our communities step up and take on opportunities to give back to the city of Fayetteville. And I hope they think to do that this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Benavente. I will go to Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just want to let everyone know that there will be a grand reopening and ribbon cutting ceremony at the Old Wilmington Road Neighborhood Resource Center this Thursday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. at 229 Lincoln Drive.
All right. So I think we are done with.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I might get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I like lifting up all of our employees who are doing great things. Just this past weekend, our very own city manager, Mr. Doug Hewitt, just received his doctorate's degree, and I think that deserves a round of applause. I just wanted to make sure that we appreciate all the hard work and dedication you're doing to do all you can for this great city of Fayetteville. So I admire you, I appreciate you, and congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Councilmember Thompson. And if I recall that, Mr. Hewitt, you went to school once a month for a weekend. For how many years did you do this? 2 years. So he drove to Charlotte. I thought it was a little bit longer than 2. But, you know, he started slow. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. You just got to get there. So thank you, and that's great. Dr. Hewitt. So with that being said, I am going to call up 2 special ladies, Miss Fayetteville Katie Strain and Miss Fayetteville Teen Mary Michael McLam. So if you would come up. They are going to be representing us for Miss North Carolina at the end of June. So please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Katie Strain, and I have the honor of serving as Miss Fayetteville, but I'm also a second grade teacher in a Title I school, and I witness every day the challenges that our students face, not just academically, but so much more. Many people tend to think that students come from a home where self-worth is taught and encouraged, but that's not always the case. Working in a Title I school, I know that students are struggling every single day with their self-worth. In 2022, I started my community service initiative called I Love Myself, fostering confidence, inspiring growth. And my goal is to promote the importance of self-worth across the state of North Carolina through the classroom. Students are encouraged to understand and manage their emotions, to seek and help what they need, and practice kindness towards themselves and others as well. This brings me to why I'm speaking here to you all today. As Miss Fayetteville and an educator, I respectfully urge you to support the return and visions of House Bill 923. This bill would have created a pilot program to bring social-emotional learning to all North Carolina public school classrooms in grades K through 6. With thoughtful revision and collaboration, I believe that this bill can be reintroduced and improved to ensure that every child in our state has the opportunity to learn not just reading and math, but also empathy, emotional resilience, and self-awareness. Our students are growing up in a world with increasing pressure, socially, emotionally, and academically. We owe it to them to make sure that our schools are not just centers for learning, but a place of healing, growth, and support. Social emotional learning is not a luxury, it's a necessity. I believe strongly in the power of community partnerships and policy support. That's why I welcome any opportunity to work with you all and other local leaders to move this conversation forward. Together, we can ensure that every student in North Carolina feels safe, valued, and emotionally supported, and that they can all confidently say, I love myself. Thank you for your time, your service, and your commitment for the well-being of our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone, and I am Mary Michael McClam, Miss Fayetteville's Teen 2025. This is under the Miss America umbrella, so since I've been given this platform, I am able to share on water safety and drowning prevention skills within our youth. I want to share the statistic with you all that drowning is 79% of children in a household income of less than $50,000 will never learn to swim. This becomes a generational challenge, and I'm working with the Parks and Rec to overcome this. June 3rd through the 5th, I will be offering a free swim lesson camp in collaboration with them, and currently we have 4 children enrolled. So promoting this is super important to me in getting our children equitable swim lessons. I'm committed to making a change, and I'm happy to hear that Fayetteville is as well. This week, an article came out by CBS 17, and it talks about the proposed aquatic center in Fayetteville. Although swimming is a fun hobby, it's also a life-saving skill. This would allow year-round swim lessons to our children, and I think it is crucial. Thank you for your support and considering all of this. Thank you.
So, Mary Michael, how does one sign up for these swim lessons that you are being part of June 4th and 5th?
It's June 3rd through the 5th.
Okay, June
Yes,
3rd
ma'am.
through the 5th.
And you could contact me personally at my email through McClamb, so MMMCLAMB at iCloud.com, or you can contact the Parks and Recreation directly and ask to speak to Miss Katie. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So next, Councilmember Banks McLaughlin will be down at the podium, and she will present a certificate of excellence to Amber Johnson, Tora Council, and Zoe Lipmore for earning their Girl Scout Gold Award and the highest award in Girl Scouting. So those of you in the audience that were Girl Scouts back in the day, you know this is a big deal. I know.
Y'all want to, and I would like for them to say something, tell a little bit about, don't get shy now, I was about to say about Girl Scouts, because a lot of people, and I mean, I can speak because I was a Girl Scout troop leader for several years, and my daughters was Girl Scout troop, and they do not just sell cookies. They do more than that. So if you could tell a little bit, one of you guys tell a little bit about Girl Scouts, and Arthur, they are seniors, you guys, so look. And how long y'all been in Girl Scouts?
I've been a Girl Scout.
And I'll let you, go ahead, you, go ahead.
I've been a Girl Scout since I was 4, so 14 years.
Commitment. This your time to tell.
I've been a Girl Scout for 11 years.
I've been a Girl Scout for 15 years.
Oh, yes. Okay. Look, and I don't listen. I don't mean to, put you all on blast, but it's like this time y'all have the platform. Let people know what you guys do and where that money go towards with those cookies.
All right, man. So as she mentioned, Girl Scouts isn't just about selling cookies. It's about making a difference in our community. And the girls in our troop have done just that, and I'm just so very proud of them. Some of the things that we do are clothing drives. We have done hygiene drives. We have done so many things to just uplift the community of Fayetteville and other surrounding communities.
So, can you tell us what school you go to? Honey, what school do you go to?
Somebody ask a question?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What school do you go to?
Oh, I attend Grace Creek High School.
Very nice. Okay. And what school do you go to?
I attend E. Smith High School.
Okay.
What I would like to say about Girl Scouts is we have all been in Girl Scouts since elementary school, and it has really shaped us into the women we are today. It's taught us a lot about leadership, the importance of community service, service before self. We also, the cookie money that we raise every year goes towards our summer trips, which we take educational trips on so we can educate ourselves on things. For example, we've gone to Washington, D.C., Savannah, Georgia. This year we're going to New York City. So we have a great time building a sisterhood and really pouring into the community that pours into us every day. So thank you.
Okay.
I go to Cumberland International Early College on FSU campus. I would just like to say that Girl Scouts has really shaped me into a better woman, and I learned a lot about like entrepreneurship, talking to people, network. It's a really great experience. I suggest it to any girl out there. You really won't regret it. After high school, I plan on going to Wingate for their pre-pharmacy program. Yes, ma'am.
Good job.
Turn around, let them see all y'all badges that y'all earned. And listen, so I'm so excited because I know these young ladies. We go to church together, and they are really great young ladies, and they are mentors to our youth at our church. So I'm so happy that we were able to, provide them with a certificate, just a little appreciation, but they do some amazing things in our community. And I love y'all. So I had and make sure y'all buy their cookies around cookie time.
All right, coming up. Thank you, Girl Scouts. Coming up next, we will have the Police Department Annual Award recipient being recognized. So, Miss Sportsman, if you would please, and Miss Love and Lieutenant Bohannon, will you all three please come forward to the podium, please?
So I understand Miss Tabitha Sportsman is on vacation.
Okay.
So we would like to recognize you for your great service and come up here and have a picture so we can brag on you. So come on.
As they are taking pictures, Miss Sportsman, she would be receiving the Civilian of the Year Award, Ms. Love, the Telecommunication of the Year Award, and Lieutenant Bohannon, Police Officer of the Year Award.
And Officer Bohannon was with us at the All-American City Awards,
Yes.
correct? Yep, so, he helped us with the PAL program to show off our city.
Thank you. All right. We have a proclamation that's getting ready to be given for the National Police Week.
That goes to Councilmember Thompson.
Of course, I'm always
Councilmember
going to support our police department. Who's coming up? Miss Melissa?
Yes.
And all of the whole staff?
Yes.
Have everybody come on up, Chief. This is in honor of our police department.
Oh, wow. I got it. I like it.
And this is just a tribute to the great things that our police department does. This is a proclamation, and it reads, whereas in 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others, to include the 10 fallen officers of the Fayetteville Police Department. And whereas we also honor those police officers and civilian employees who serve our community with the Fayetteville Police Department. And whereas the Fayetteville Police Foundation honors this week and all of its employees of the Fayetteville Police Department and their dedication and commitment to our community. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Mitch Coven of the city of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of the City Council and more than 208,000 citizens, do hereby honorably proclaim May 11th through the 17th, 2025, as the Fayetteville Police Week, and publicly salute the service of law enforcement officers and civilians in our community. We call upon all citizens in this community to especially honor and show our sincere appreciation for all the employees of the Fayetteville Police Department. In witness wherefore, I hereto unset my hand and cause this great seal of the city of Fayetteville to be affixed this day, the 12th day of May, in the year 2025. Thank you. God bless you, and may God keep you.
I'm going to give the mic. Would we like a picture with everybody? Yes. Okay, so if everybody could come move back over here, and then we're going to let you speak. Yes.
Y'all come on in close. Kathy's gonna stay down
He's
there.
taller than we are, and we're back here on this part.
Okay, Councilmember Hare, you're so going to have to move somewhere. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Stand in the chair.
Stand on this side.
Councilmember Green, yeah. Do you want to? There we go. A little bit more, Councilmember Green. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. Councilmember there. Councilmember Hondros that way. There you go.
Thank you.
Say something, Todd, don't go far. You say something too. Understand? All right, so I guess I get the privilege of going first here. Say again? Oh, okay, well, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, Dr. Hewitt, entire council, thank you all very much. My name is Daniel Teresiano. I am happy to be here to represent the Fayetteville Police Foundation. And we certainly appreciate the proclamation and are very humbled by it. This week isn't about us or about the foundation. It's about the men and women that posed with us for the picture, the men and women that are over there in the white shirts and canines. The men and women that, as we speak right now, are on our streets and protecting our community. That is what this week is about. That is what we stand to honor this week. Our foundation is from all circles of our community. Our members are real estate agents or home builders or accountants or public service servants or even a couple restaurant owners in there as well. No matter which walk of life we come from, we all stand kind of united in the fact that we not only appreciate but admire and are very thankful for the men and women that protect our community, that put themselves in the line, that put themselves in danger, to make Fayetteville a better place for us all. You know, we're all residents here, and we all want to see that thrive. I know you do as well. This week not only honors those that serve today, it honors those that served of the past. It honored those that put themselves in line and died for our betterment in our community. So with that, our foundation has a list of events, and Melissa, wherever she might have went, was going to yell at me if I didn't list these off, so give me 1 second here. If you've driven down Glensford Drive, you've probably noticed the large field right there in front of BJ's. The Field of Blue, as we call it, is now a couple hundred flags that are out there. Each of one has been donated and honors a former or current police officer, and as well as the canines that are there. There are specific canine flags as well. So they've been put up in honor of those Fayetteville Police Department officers. So we encourage everybody to go by, take pictures. There's a big sign, and it's a pretty cool experience to be a part of. Tomorrow morning, there is a wreath-laying ceremony right out front, I believe. Yes? Okay, thank you, Todd. A wreath-laying ceremony followed by a department-wide fellowship at the police station for all of the officers and staff. Wednesday, there is a Back to Blue night for a number of local area restaurants that are giving a percentage of the proceeds back to the foundation for the work that we are trying to do with the department. Thursday, we are taking part in the Chambers Coffee Club, meeting with business leaders there. And then all week long, there is a matching funding drive. A little sandwich shop down the way is matching all donations to the Fayetteville Police Foundation that come in all week. You may be asking yourself, what do we do with those funds? A lot, and as much as we possibly can, but of course, never as much as we'd like to do. So things such as funding new equipment or offering educational scholarships to the officers for their continuing education and the continual learning there. A lot of officer wellness stuff, and then a lot of bridging the gap between the department and the community work that we do. So thank you again for the proclamation. Please come join us this week. Chief, please.
Thank you, brother. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Dr. Hewitt. Got to change my contact on my phone now. But we really could not do a lot without the foundation and the support of them for the better of almost 12 years now. We've watched the foundation grow by those individuals who give their time, their resources, funding to make sure that the police department is able to continue. And they're there to honor our personnel. They're there to honor our telecommunicators. It's not just about the sworn personnel. It's about every single member of the Fayetteville Police Department. And that truly means a lot to us. And as we look at Police Week, I go back to last Thursday when we had our award ceremony. And when the narratives are read of what those officers did, what they performed, it relives it not only for them, but it relives it for us to know that those are the men and women who represent our community. Their service, their acts are what a lot of times people don't see. People don't know the number of people. I know they were honored here who went out to Western North Carolina when our state saw the worst, who were there, and they bring that back. And we really, truly work on officer wellness. It's something that, has come to the forefront, and we want to make sure that our personnel have the resources they need. And I'm thankful to have the foundation at our side for those times that we might not be able to have some of the answers. We have a number of individuals who are there to help us and assist us through that process. So we're thankful for their work. We're thankful for your support in many ways of how we're able to continue. And I look forward to what we're able to continue to do with the foundation and watch them as they continue to grow. So thank you very much for the proclamation, man.
Thank you.
I've been asked to mention one other thing. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Melissa. As you drive around the city this week, you may notice that a number of businesses, the city, some of the city buildings themselves. Where else, Melissa? The Tower.
An Affair to Remember has all blue dresses in there.
Yes.
The Eiffel Tower at Bordeaux Shopping Center, Cape Fear Valley Hospital, City Center Gallery, the Cisco Building's supposed to be lighting up blue for us, Skyview on the end, lots of places.
See, if I would have tried that, I would have missed half of them. If you need a blue light, Please see us. We're happy to help and hand those out. I have no idea how many we have, but we'll run out and get more. We'll be fine. But please help us with that. Please help us honor these officers, and thank you all very much.
Thank you. And of course, before we go any further, do have to recognize retired Chief Braden in the office. Are you part of the Police Foundation now? Very good, very good. Yes, yes, yes. And I would be remiss, and Senator Applewhite, I apologize, I did not see you walk in, but Senator Applewhite is sitting here in the front row, and thank you for coming. All right, with that being said, I would welcome Councilmember Hondros and Chief Dub to come down to present a certificate of excellence to a special, where is he? Oh, yeah. Is he coming?
James, come on up. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, Dr. Boss, congratulations. This is James Heisel. This extraordinary young man was walking to the school bus stop on April 1st and came across a shed fire. And he called 911, and the way he did it was just amazing. The cool, calm, and collected way he talked to the dispatcher. We're going to play you a video clip so you can see. I can't tell you about it. You have to hear it. And if anybody is going to call, if you ever come into a situation to call 911, I need you to do what this young man did. So if we could play that clip.
911, address of the emergency.
Yeah, there's a fire in the house in front of me and my friend.
What is the address?
And I tried 6 something Dalton Road, Fayetteville, NC.
Okay, do you see smoke and flames?
Yes, ma'am. I tried knocking.
Okay, what's the phone number? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get the fire department on the way. Okay, and you said you tried knocking, and what happened?
They never answered.
Okay, do you know if anybody's at home?
I don't really know. I see cars, but they've all been there for a while.
Okay, and you said you see smoke and flames, is that right?
Yes, ma'am, and the flames are gradually getting bigger as we speak.
Okay, well, step away, okay? I'm already getting the fire department on the way. And how many floors or stories are there? Like, is it one single story? Is it a 2-story house? How many stories are there?
It's a 1-story, but it's burning the floor of their shed.
Okay, now we're sending the fire department now, so I'm going to tell you exactly what to do next, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need to confirm, you're not inside the residence, is that right?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Me and my friend are waiting on the bus.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the fire, and I'm like, I'm about to go check and see if they're awake, and they know, but I knocked, they never answered.
Okay, now where exactly is the fire?
It's in the backyard.
Okay. So it's like a shed fire?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is anyone injured?
No, ma'am. They're all inside.
Okay.
Okay, so after James went to school that day, Miss Godwin, who was the call taker talking to him on the other end, she contacted us. She's like, y'all have got to do something for this young man. He was extraordinary. And then we listened in and we were like, yep, we've got to do something. So we contacted Councilmember Hondros, and we've got a few things together for him, but we're glad to have him. Chief Joyce, I've already recruited him, so you can't have him. But we just wanted to bring James up and appreciate what he did, because it was truly extraordinary. So, James, the fire department, we've made you an honorary firefighter. And we've got a little certificate for you, and then Councilmember Hondros has got something for you.
and I'll just read it if I may, a certificate of excellence from the city of Fayetteville, presented to James Heisel in honor of your extraordinary act of heroism, demonstrating courage, responsibility, and quick thinking in a moment of emergency. Your actions helped protect others and made a lasting impact on your community. Thank you for the good work, and I'll be remiss if I didn't thank Mom and Dad. Obviously, he was raised right, so good job.
Yeah, I was going to mention, you heard all the ma'ams. That's good parenting. Right?
I just want to say thank you to all the support of the people that raised me and the people who helped me deal with this. I also want to thank our assistant principal, Mr. Randolph, because he was the one who made me feel extra proud for doing this.
Well, James, we're very proud of you, and we're proud to claim you as a Fayetteville resident. And thank you for everything that you did. You want to tell us where you go to school and where your assistant principal is an assistant principal at? What school?
I go to Westover Middle School.
Very good, very good. What grade?
6th grade.
6th grade. 6th grade. Well, thank you so much. You make us very proud.
Thank you.
So great things happening in the city of Fayetteville. So next, I would like to call up Mr. Scott Embry with the United Way of Cumberland County, the Executive Director for the Spirit of North Carolina Award. The mic is all yours.
Oh, thank you very much. Just so I don't forget anything. Man, it's hard to follow behind beauty queens and local heroes. I don't know where this fits in, but I will tell you who I'm recognizing tonight is quite remarkable. As she mentioned, my name is Scott Embry, and I have the honor of serving as the Executive Director of the United Way of Cumberland County. And I want to thank first the members of the council for giving me the opportunity to join you tonight, and plus your continued partnership with the United Way as we do our work across this community. It's always a privilege to be in the same room with leaders that deeply care about making a lasting impact for Fayetteville. Tonight, I have the pleasure of recognizing someone who has done just that. It is my honor and privilege to present Miss Jackie Abbott with the prestigious Spirit of North Carolina Award, recognizing her exceptional leadership during the City of Fayetteville's United Way's annual campaign. Let me tell you about the Spirit of North Carolina Award. It celebrates individuals who embody the true spirit of their community, those who lead with purpose. They inspire others. They make a lasting difference. And I will tell you firsthand, Jackie is all the above. It's been a real pleasure to work with her. Under her leadership, the City of Fayetteville's annual campaign experienced impressive year-over-year growth, finishing 219% ahead of the previous year and coming in just shy of $50,000 of annual impact here in our community. You know, but what really sets Jackie apart, it's more than just those numbers. She has something that I have been reading and studying about for a long time in leadership, and it's called leading without authority. You should look it up. It is really the fascinating thing, or just talk to Jackie, because she brings people together not by title, but by example. With conviction, compassion, and collaboration, she has elevated not only the campaign, but the entire spirit of giving for the city. It's incredible, incredible. And when I asked Jackie to share a little bit of words of wisdom, what she learned in her second year as being a campaign chair, here's a few things that she said. Believe in the story you're telling. Treat setbacks as learning opportunities. Every dollar counts. And lean on your United Way friends. I really like that one. That's one of my favorites. But these aren't just lessons. These are principles of a true leader. Jackie, thank you for your passion, your persistence, and your heart for this community. It's made a real profound difference. And on behalf of the United Way of Cumberland County, we're very honored to present to you, with our deepest appreciation, the Spirit of North Carolina Award for 2025.
All right.
And we have something special for you, a little extra. I know you guys wear these awesome lanyards around here, and we've got some new United Way swag in, and this pin that I would love to pin you, if you would allow me, as an ambassador of the United Way. Now she just has to find a replacement. Thank you very much, Jackie. Thank you again for allowing me to be here tonight. For you? Do you have a few words you would like to say?
I do. Well, thank you again, Council and Executive Leadership Team, for setting the culture of service and care that all of us employees experience here. Thank you to Dr. Hewitt. I wanted to say that too, because everybody else got to. And the Assistant City Managers for being so willing, no matter what crazy idea I brought you next. But the people I want to say thank you to the most are my fellow employees. They gave not only their hard-earned resources to make this possible, but their time. Aristotle says that the essence of life is to serve others and do good. And together, we have done that. Yes. So thank you, and thank you for believing in me.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to ask Mr. Rob Patton to meet me down at the podium.
Thank you. Thank you. We're waiting on, okay. This is our proclamation for Economic Development Week, a department that we just love here in Fayetteville. And this is a proclamation from the Mayor's Office and the City Council, and it reads as follows. Whereas the week of May 12th through the 16th, 2025 has been designated as Economic Development Week, a time to recognize the vital contributions of economic development efforts and the prosperity and well-being of communities across the nation. And whereas economic development plays a critical role in the progress and the betterment of the city of Fayetteville by advancing growth and opportunity through resilience and innovation, and whereas the economic development professions foster thriving neighborhoods, champion sustainable and resilient practices, enhances economic prosperity for all residents, and strengthens the city's robust tax base. And whereas the city's Economic Development Department and Fayetteville Cumberland County Economic Development Corporation are dedicated to creating, retaining, and expanding opportunities that promote long-term equitable growth for the entire community. And whereas the city's Economic and Development Department and the City of Fayetteville Economic Development Corporation is designed to impact programs that stimulate the local economy, serve as stewards of collaboration among community stakeholders, promote job creation, attract investments, and inspire the hopeful and sustainable future for the residents. Therefore, I, DJ Hare, speaking on behalf of Mayor Mitch Colvin, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of my city council members, and the more than 208,000 citizens do hereby honorably proclaim the week of May 12th through the 16th, 2025 as Economic Development Week. And we encourage all citizens to recognize and support and dedicate economic development professionals whose work is essential to building a stronger and resilient community for generations to come. And wherefore I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of Fayetteville to be affixed this May 6th day of May 2025, and that is signed by our mayor. Let's give our department a great big old hand. Where's old Chris? Chris had his baby.
I think I messed this up, and I apologize.
He said he had one due anytime.
So I'll let you speak, and who wants to speak on y'all's behalf?
Sir, I think you pretty much said it all, but bottom line up front is investment, careers, and opportunity. What we do matters because we give people hope and promise, bringing in new jobs and investment to the community. So I appreciate this. It means a lot, and we'll continue to do what we can to move the community as a whole forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, council, for the opportunity. Thank you, doctor, for the opportunity to serve. Thank you to RSAM. Scott said a lot about a remarkable staff member. I am very fortunate that I have a whole team of jackies, so we wouldn't be able to do that without each and every one of them. So thank you to the amazing staff.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, we are going to move to 5.0, and I would like to go to our city manager, Dr. Hewitt.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you, Council, for the kind recognition. Would be remiss if I also didn't say thank you to each of you as well for your kind words and support over this journey. I actually was beyond blessed last week to actually have members of Council who were able to join me, along with City Attorney Lachelle Pullum as well, but I could feel all of you there in spirit. So thank you, thank you, thank you more than you know. For manager support tonight, would remind everyone that next week on May 21st at 6:30 p.m. at Gilmore Recreation Center, I think we may hear something about that, we will have our next Fayetteville Out Front meeting, and our topics for discussion at that time will be stormwater and our bond project updates. We'll have a lot of good information to share with the public. Again, that is next week, May 21st at 6:30 p.m. at Gilmore Recreation Center. For this and other updates, if you would please sign up for the City Manager's Messenger, which is available and goes out every week on Friday afternoons. And to sign up for that newsletter and others, you can go to the City of Fayetteville's website at fayettevillenc.gov. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Hewitt. Okay, we were going to go to 6.0. Could I get a motion for the approval of the agenda?
So moved, Mayor Pro Tem.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hare and a second by Councilmember Green. Any discussion? Did he have a discussion? Yes, he said he would like to have a discussion. Okay, Councilmember Benavente.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. City Attorney, is this the time, or would I have to make a motion during the public forum to request an extension to that time period?
Councilmember Benavente, I would say at the time of the public forum would be the appropriate point to make that motion.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Attorney. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I just ask to be recognized when we move on to the next item.
All right. So calling for the vote. Councilmember Benavente? Your
Green.
vote? Okay. All right, that is 9-0 unanimous with those present. Next, we will go to 7.0, the public forum. Councilmember Benavente.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to make a motion to extend the 30 minutes that's allotted for the public forum and make that a 75-minute opportunity. Just ask for a second, an opportunity to give more detail as to why.
Councilmember Hondros, second. Discussion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. If I could be recognized for discussion.
Councilmember Benavente.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I think everyone here during the dinner meeting received a copy of the public forum sign-up sheet. We had at least 26 folks last I checked. And because we have such a short agenda this evening, I think there's an opportunity for us to suspend our typical rules, give everyone who has taken the time to come down to City Hall to sign up for this very crucial and impactful agenda we have before us, to be given an opportunity to be heard today. I believe that it's our duty to be accountable to the people, to make sure that we incorporate their perspective as often as possible. And when we see what is atypical, so many folks signing up, that we look at that as an opportunity to show how receptive this council is, rather than trying to stifle, I think, the voice of the people. So I'd ask that everyone consider offering additional time on this occasion. I know that sometimes we need to be strict, but I think more often than not, when we let young people speak, when we let more than one person speak, we should be suspending the rules and allowing for additional voices to be heard, because it matters that people feel like this is their council and their chamber and their opportunity to be heard. Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
All right, so did I hear a motion in that? We're on.
That was discussion on the motion I already made.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so any other discussion? All right, I will call for the vote. Who has not? All right, Councilmember Benavente? Your vote?
Bright green.
Okay, that passed 5-4. All right, we will start with public forum. Per the City Council Policy 120.9, this is a time that residents may have input and a voice in what goes on in their city. The public forum will last no more than 30 minutes. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes to address the City Council on issues related to the City of Fayetteville. No time will be yielded to any other speaker by another speaker. Individuals wishing to speak tonight's public forum should have signed up at the office of the city clerk no later than 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting. When the city clerk calls your name, please approach the podium and clearly state your name and residential address for the record. When the light located on the podium changes from green to yellow, you have 30 seconds left to speak. When the light changes red, your time has been expired. Any remaining speakers on the public forum list that did not get an opportunity to address the City Council will have the option to put their name placed at the beginning of the next scheduled public forum list of speakers. So with that being said, that was our policy, but that has changed tonight. So we will go with the first speaker. I will go to you, Madam Clerk.
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Pro Tem, we have 27 speakers this evening. Our first speaker is Mr. Whitaker Granis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Whitaker Granis. I came before you a couple weeks ago as the chairman of the Stormwater Advisory Board. I gave you our annual report. It was brought up that I'm also the bee guy, so I thought I'd come up here really quickly, take 3 minutes, and explain to you what the Cumberland County Beekeepers Association is doing. I'm wearing my bee hat and my bee uniform today. basically start off with why honeybees are so important. Honeybees have been living in a symbiotic relationship with human beings for about 10,000 years. When we moved from being hunter-gatherers to agriculture, we found out that they were beneficial to agriculture. Today, 30% of the food we eat in America is pollinated by honeybees, and it's all of the good fruits and vegetables and things like that. Honeybees today are threatened by a lot of imported pests and diseases. Unfortunately, what that means is the honeybees themselves are actually weaker than they used to be. And every time a new pest or disease is introduced, the bees face more and more challenges. In addition to pollination, which is the number one thing that honeybees do for us, they, of course, produce a lot of products that you might have heard of. So beeswax is really popular in a lot of cosmetics and different items. Propolis is bee glue. It's now being found to have antibiotic and antifungal properties. Bee venom is actually being studied right now as a solution for a lot of different medical ailments. And, of course, delicious honey. And so I brought each one of you a bottle of honey from the Cumberland County Beekeepers Association. It's from one of our members. It's good local honey. I hope you enjoy it. The Cumberland County Beekeepers Association, we've got about 100 members this year. It's a reboot since 2023 when I took over as president. Free meetings the last Tuesday of every month at the Agricultural Extension Office and next to the Crown. And the local associations are important because that's how most people get into beekeeping. And we need more and more people into beekeeping so that we can provide enough bees to do pollination and all of the great things that honeybees do. Finally, because I don't want to stay within my 3 minutes, I want to share with you what we're doing for Western North Carolina relief. So when Hurricane Helene hit Western North Carolina, it impacted so many people, and including beekeepers. Right now, there is an effort across the state with hundreds of beekeepers raising bees to replace the hives that were lost. We did a survey that found that over 900 hives were lost just in the storm. That represents 45 million honeybees in the peak of the summer. Then additional losses came along because those beekeepers were not focused on beekeeping after the storm. They were focused on recovering. And so we lost a lot of honeybees. The Cumberland County Beekeepers Association adopted the Tocane Beekeepers Association, which is Avery, Yancey, and Mitchell counties. We have raised 40 beehives, which will hopefully be 2 million bees later this summer, that we're going to take up there this Saturday. It is taking a village and a hive to accomplish this. And we are very proud of it, and we want to thank you for the time to come up here and talk.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Ms. Cecilia Sanchez. Ms. Sanchez? Not present. Our next speaker is Mr. Joseph Schwab.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Schwab. Address of 3009 Marcus James Drive in Fayetteville. I came to speak to the city about the ordinance on amplified sound, specifically how it's enforced. First, I wanted to speak to my experience. In 2023, I was volunteering at the Pride Festival, and there was a protester outside using a microphone and speaker to protest the Pride Festival. The police didn't come to show up or stop him, which I'm in agreement with. I think he has a right to protest and a right to be heard. On February 16th, at a protest on the Supreme Court election, we were using music and amplified sound. The police showed up and arrested a protester and made us turn off the amplified sound. I had trouble hearing the speakers after the amplified sound was taken away. On April 5th, 2025, I went to a protest. We were protesting the federal government cuts. And the police showed up and made us stop using a megaphone for speeches because of the amplified sound ordinance. I could not hear the speeches after the megaphone was not being used. The next Monday, April 7th, I called the police to file a complaint with Internal Affairs. I told them about my issues not being able to hear speeches because of the amplified sound was taken away. I wanted to file a complaint on the First Amendment violation that might have occurred. She put me on hold to talk to an officer. She said the officer said you can't use amplified sound in the city. I told her I still wanted to file a complaint, and she refused to take my complaint. I've gone to the police station twice since this call, talked to 2 different officers. One officer said I just need to fill out a notice to picket, amplified sound can be used. Another officer was not sure of the process. I'd like the police to understand the ordinance on amplified sound and be forced equally. I also like there to be a way for protesters to use amplified sound for speeches. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Mike Stovall. Mr. Mike Stovall? Not present. Our next speaker is Ms. Gwendolyn Fuller. Ms. Gwendolyn Fuller? Not present. Our next speaker is Mr. Joseph Ellerby.
Good evening.
Good evening. Pardon me, I'm the hugest introvert in the world, but we're going to make it through this. My name is Joseph Ellerby. I just moved to the area, 310 Summerhill Road, Yakin Road, Fayetteville 28303. Before I begin my spiel, I want to ask a few hypothetical questions. Do you guys know anybody that in your circle that's currently taking medication, maybe gout, high cholesterol, diabetes, lupus, cancer? Have you experienced death in your family through these degenerative diseases? From my experience and my research, Cumberland County's PWC services 214,137 residents. This was updated this year. Hope County has 24,899 residents that they service through their water supply. Cumberland County has 30 contaminants. Well, excuse me, they use 30, I'm gonna say contaminants, 30 contaminants to treat our water supply. 15 exceeded EWG health guideline, 12 cause cancer. Me and my fiance moved here from California, Huntington Beach, California. My company, Hydrate Pure. I built a 3-layer mechanical filter from the ground up with me and my team and I. And we're able to eliminate the contaminants inside the water. We have tested it with Fayetteville State University. I actually played basketball at Fayetteville State back in 2006 to 2008. And they currently now have our technology utilizing it with their athletic department. I'm also part of their strength and conditioning program as their head strength coach. And we are utilizing this throughout the campus, where Keymore's had a spill recently, I'm guessing. And I don't know exactly when that happened, but we are here to provide a solution to a problem. Our targets are Cumberland County schools, the police departments, fire departments, city parks and rec, and also Hope County as well, also, since they're all intertwines. We want to be a solution. We are actually opening up a refill center here on June 30th on Hay Street. Is that my time? Oh. And we are inviting everyone to come out. Our website is www.hydratepure.com. And if you get a subscription, we do free home testings. Even if you have whole home systems, we will test your whole home systems and tell you what you can do to eliminate these contaminants. But we all look for a solution for these degenerative diseases. Why not choose Hydrate Pure? And this is our product as well also. We just started canning this past year. So, yeah,
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Miss Mary Skelly.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mary Skelly. I have a protected address in District 1. I thoroughly read the Fayetteville Police Department January to March quarterly report. They do an outstanding job. They were here tonight to be recognized, as they should be. The only thing that's missing on this report is child trafficking and human trafficking. That is a violent crime. It's an epidemic. It can be considered a pandemic in this country. Fayetteville has children that are being trafficked. In 2018, my daughter was abducted from a school in South Florida. Law enforcement wrote her off a runaway. I said she was abducted from a school in South Florida. The school resource officer could have saved her. However, I moved forward to rescue other children. I've rescued children in Cumberland County. It's very difficult. There are gaps with law enforcement. New York, I've had rescues, MS-13 gang territory, and down by the hotels here, 301 in Fayetteville. There's no different. They're equally as scary because there's children there. There's the sale of the human body here in Fayetteville. Cumberland County and the state, the numbers are underreported. There are grants that are up for application, 100,000, but they're very competitive. We have Worth Court here in Cumberland County, the only human trafficking court in the state of North Carolina, making some very poor decisions themselves. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it just needs improvement. The entire system of wraparound support needs improvement. If Fayetteville detective did not even know that there's 2 human trafficking detectives within the county. And if former Chief Braden, I think he left, he's my hero. 397 days, a young lady out of Fayetteville was taken to Georgia by traffickers. Cumberland County Sheriff said that there was a discrepancy with jurisdiction. One phone call to the chief. He called me back in 5 minutes. The extradition warrant was, and the girl was rescued off the streets 397 days. But she continues to struggle today with many, many others. I would like a resolution to have a civilian or a task force come together for the serious issue that faces Fayetteville, child trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Zachary Traylor.
Hello and good evening. My name is Zachary Traylor. I live at 3917 Village Drive, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Our city's crime rate, including the current spike, is due to our persistence of suburban planning. Both Bragg and the Triangle provide gainful employment, while our city is left with a crime surge and poverty filling parking lots and vandalizing strip malls that lay vacant for 18 hours a day. While I believe that the current proposed emergency measures that continue the natural progress of history where liberty yields to personal freedom and an ever-expanding government, the larger matter is sustained prosperity. Our city was a case study in 2016 for successful public safety policy, of which none of the conclusions align with the proposal being considered. Instead, I provide new tools for long-term domestic tranquility, as peace is achieved when a just government guards the rights of property while securing personal freedoms. This safety is best achieved when they are both held in the same hands. It is for this that I believe individual and community economic and political interests are best secured through peace and prosperity. Our children have few opportunities, compounded by our county's underfunding of education. This has left only service industries with no upward mobility, but with plenty of times for idle hands to become instigators and malefactors for misdeeds. I propose we transition into an actual productive and safe metropolitan, with the expansion of the hospital matched with investment into Fayetteville State. Our current failures are because we lack a draw for capital and labor. With our own research institution, we can attract the brightest while educating those within our community, creating the Fayetteville trifecta. That trifecta being Fort Bragg, Cape Fear, and Fayetteville State, the swords to fight crime. What I have not mentioned about myself is my own background. I am a 25-year-old veteran, a homeowner, and I'm an infantry vet from the 82nd. However, before all that, I graduated from Florida International University at 19, a top 50 university in public administration. I am an expert, and I care about this community. To summarize, reforming our city's planning and turning parking lots into parks, third places, and housing creates the framework for success through economic progress. Progress and poverty is the core issue here, being shown through the rise in crime. And with people disconnected from our society, that leads them to commit more crimes against it and each other. Today I brought small files for each district with a copy of the case study in 2016, ideal EEZ locations, one in each district. I also noted multiple legislative changes that could be made that would make a direct impact to public safety with noticeable results by the next election cycle. When strip malls and business parks are the victims, redesigning rather than over-policing is the solution. Free land, free trade, free people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Ms. Royal Soleil. Ms. Royal Soleil, not present. Our next speaker is Mr. Joel Cook. Mr. Joel Cook? Oh, there he is.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to express my opposition to the curfew for teenagers that was discussed during last week's emergency meeting. We didn't really have an opportunity as the public to comment on that last week, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that today. As far as I can tell from the recent incidents that seem to have triggered that meeting, the gun violence incidents, we haven't seen any evidence that those issues are associated with teenagers in our community. And so I would say that it feels more like we're reacting to a problem rather than trying to find a solution to a problem. I think that the more likely outcome of what we're doing with this curfew is that we're going to end up creating an additional barrier between us and the kids that we're trying to work with. There's, I'd say, about 26,000 teenagers, I'm just doing a rough estimate there, in the city who, for the most part, tend to stay out of trouble. I did the math, and even if we were talking about those incidents that have recently happened being associated with teenagers, it would still be less than 0.1% of our teenage population that are doing that stuff. And so they mostly, for the most part, stay out of trouble. And I think that that would create a barrier of resentment between us and them because we're doing this as a punitive measure. And so additionally, for the ones that are in trouble, I think that the potential penalties that were discussed, I know there was some conversation about misdemeanors, there was conversation about fines for parents potentially. I think that's just going to create an issue where teenagers, if they are in trouble or if they do need help and they're out late at night, they're not going to come talk to anyone when they need it. We were all teenagers at one point. We all experimented at one point. We all did crazy stuff at some point in our lives. Maybe some of y'all didn't. I did. And so I think that we need to be able to create an environment where they feel like they can talk to us when they're in trouble. And I think that this curfew is going to create a situation where they don't feel like they can talk to us when they're in trouble. I would also add that what I heard earlier from the police department was a little bit concerning when they were talking about, like we live in a city that's, for the most part, majority black. So that means that our teenage population is going to be majority black. And so when our police department comes up, whether this was an accident on their part or not, or whether they didn't recognize this or not, they're talking about supporting Back the Blue activities when the Back the Blue movement was a direct response to black people in this country protesting against police violence against black bodies. And so that indicates to me that they don't recognize the community that they're working with fully. And that really threw up a huge red flag for me when it comes to knowing that with this curfew, they're going to be interacting more with these young teenagers. And so in closing, I just want to say that I just want to emphasize, I'm really concerned that this curfew is going to have a chilling effect when it comes to young people talking to us and getting the help that they need. Oh, man, out of time. But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Lizette Rodriguez.
Hello,
Good
Council.
evening.
Lisette Rodriguez, Fayetteville Freedom for All. Y'all know where I live. I've been here before. So like Joel, I'm here to voice my opposition against the youth curfew. First off, just echoing some of the folks that came up before me, I believe personally that this is an example of government overreach, and that parents should make the decisions as to when their child's curfew are. Just like my parents, I was a musician here in Fayetteville as a teenager. I still am. And my parents let me out past 11 p.m. because I was playing at the coffee scene. I was playing at the Rock Shop before it closed, which is a bar, by the way. I played at the Drunk Horse Pub, all as a teenager. My parents knew I was out. And if I didn't have those opportunities to find mentors and play music in this city, I would not have gone to college for music, and I would not be working at a music management company where I have the opportunity to work with an artist who just won 2 Grammys last fall. So if it wasn't for those opportunities here in Fayetteville and my parents' trust, I would not be where I am today. And we have not heard from the council what the exact penalties will be, or where exactly children will be placed if they are picked up by the police department. This was brought back, or this issue was brought up in 2023 when the question was asked, well, where are these children going to be held? I don't think we have an answer to that question yet. If children, or if the police cannot get in contact with the child's parents, where are these children going to be? Are they going to be at the police department? Are you going to call DHS at, not DHS, the social services at 1 in the morning? Where are they going to be? And what will the penalties be? I also want to take a second to push back on the mayor's claim that we have tried violence interruption. We have not. We have thrown money at it, and there has been no follow-through. I know that there's about to be a director of the Office of Community Safety hired, but there are programs with studies, with efficacy, with research behind it that show that it will reduce crime. For an example, there's a program called Advanced Peace that reduced gun homicides in Richmond, California by 55% over a 5-year period. And it's been implemented in cities like Lansing, Michigan, Orlando, Milwaukee, Rochester, New York, Indianapolis, and more. And I also want to, in closing, propose a couple of solutions. We are in a child care crisis, tax exceptions for daycare centers, expedited permitting processes, city grants for free summer programs, expanded rec hours, free public transportation.
Okay, we need to.
Yep, thank you.
Our next speaker is Miss Angela Tatum.
Good afternoon. Real quick, I wish I would really stop having people state their address on a recording. So like Lisette said, you know where I live. I provide that address whenever I sign up. It's just not a safe thing for us to be doing on a recorded meeting. Anyway, I know that we have a citywide curfew for all teens and children under the age of 15. Although you heard from documented sources that curfews do not help to reduce violent crimes that cities like ours are experiencing, and that a citywide curfew potentially violates the constitutional rights of our youth, even Texas Governor Greg Abbott agrees. As of June of last year, he signed a statewide ban on curfews, which prohibits cities and counties from implementing the curfews with concerns that curfews violate constitutional rights, and that they are hoping to see a better relationship formed between juveniles and law enforcement. But here we are. We have a potentially unconstitutional citywide curfew. So what do we do now? You heard some great ideas from my fellow Fayetteville Freedom for All Steering Committee member, Lisette. What I would like to also see are two things. One, that we are provided monthly numbers to the public on how many juveniles experience an interaction with law enforcement, and if those interactions involve violent crimes, and keep that data for future references. And when the numbers show that the curfew did not do what was expected, that each and every council member be prepared to provide a public apology to the majority of children who are affected by this curfew. Second, it is important that the organizations that were mentioned receiving funds that will provide potential alternative activities for our youth, that the city require that anyone receiving city funds and interacting with our youth, that they're required to include a certain percentage of time to cover motivational topics, which can be given where they're topics for the same for all organizations, so that we can make sure that as they have interactions with the youth, that they are taking advantage of that time to provide the motivational topics that children need. And then also to provide the community with contact numbers and measurables so that we can make sure that these programs are making the impact that we're looking for. I look forward to having a deeper conversation because, of course, 3 minutes is not enough time, that you will bring the community together so that we can sit down and come up with what will make an impact in our community. Because as we know, the answers to anything that we're trying to solve in our community is always found in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Ms. Kimberly Vaughn. Ms. Kimberly Vaughn? Not present. Next page. Our next speaker is Mr. Austin Joseph. Mr. Austin Joseph? Not present. Our next speaker is Ms. Samantha Keys.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. I'm Val Applewhite, 5813 Mondavie Place. I'm here supporting my friend who is going to speak, Samantha Keys. I'm so fortunate she invited this old lady out to the Gilmore Center to the Valentine's Day parties and Halloween parties. We really had a great time, and we started discussing ways to improve the center. And I try to always explain what each level of government does. And I said, well, as a state senator, that's not something I do directly, but I know who does, and it's the Fayetteville City Council. So I encouraged her to come out and to address you all. And now it's her turn. You ready, Samantha? Okay, go ahead.
I'm Samantha Keys, live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28306.
And you can just speak in. You don't have to lean in. So you can read your script. Okay?
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Jensen. My name is Samantha Keys. Today I want to take a few moments to talk about something that is near and dear to me, but is too often overlooked. The need for affordable recreational facilities and activities for individuals with both mental and physical disabilities. Recreation is not just about fun or fitness, especially for those like me living with disabilities. Recreation is a lifeline. It provides opportunities for social, physical, and emotional growth. It is a way to connect to others in the community. Too many individuals with disabilities face barriers to access. One of the biggest barriers is cost. Families already have to manage medical expenses, specialized equipment, and transportation. Families often find their recreational opportunities are financial out of reach. Without affordable options, many individuals with disabilities are isolated not by choice, but by lack of money. I stand before you today because I may not look like it, but I have both a physical and learning disability. Because of my learning disability, I was enrolled in public school with an IEP all my life. While in middle school, I learned about the Gilmore Center. My parents got me involved in coming to the Gilmore Center where I didn't feel judged as I did in public school. I was able to make friends through sports and other activities. I had the opportunities to go on many inexpensive trips that allowed me to grow and provide me an outlook to socialize. For people who don't have a disability or not around people with disabilities, you don't understand what the Gilmore Center means to so many people like me. As of now, so much has been lost. I am here to ask for it back. We strengthened the program by increasing the activities. Why do we have to pay $10 for dances for 2.5 hours? Can we not keep the activities affordable? Can we add handrails for those that have trouble walking? Can we paint? Go ahead,
Keep going.
Can we paint the walls a prettier color besides dull blue? In preparation for today, I wanted to know what was happening for the youth, adults with disabilities in the surrounding counties. There are services in Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, Greensboro, Holly Springs, Chapel Hill. An example I wanted to highlight in Greensboro. They have a program called AIR, which stands for Adaptive Inclusive Recreation. These are several activities planned throughout the month. The cost ranges from free to $25 when events is out the city. For example, going to Winston-Salem. When the city invests in affordable recreation, it sends a clear message. Everyone belongs. The city shows that people with disabilities are valued members of our community whose well-being matters. By making these important changes, the city will be improving a beautiful recreation facility and activities, and this is something worth continuing to invest in. The benefits are not just for individuals with disabilities, but for the strength of our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Mr. Michael Spears. Mr. Michael Spears? Not present. Our next speaker is Ms. Crystal Maddox.
Good evening, Council. I apologize. I didn't bring my speech. I did not think it was possible to speak tonight at number 20. My name is Crystal Maddox. I am the president of Fayetteville Pride. I absolutely refuse to give my address for safety reasons. As president of Fayetteville Pride, we have had 5 festivals at Festival Park, and we would like to let you know why we will no longer be there. The safety in the park doesn't exist. There are ways you can enter the park that are not being manned and covered. The back of the park can be entered as it was 2 years ago during our festival by the Proud Boys. During this time, one of their members had a gun on him, and if it wasn't for the fast acting of the Fayetteville Police Department, who we appreciate, there's no telling what could have happened. This gentleman was seen on the news the night before in Wilmington, North Carolina, where they protested the reading of a book by a drag queen. Let's all remember that a drag queen is a paid entertainer. She was at an event she was paid for, and no child drove to that library. Grants for nonprofits would help us get more security. Grants for nonprofits that are not included in the norm should be taken into consideration. When we have our festivals, we are a diverse group. We do bring family entertainment and up to 7,000 people into Festival Park. Like I said, after 5 years, we will be moving to the Crown. Our hope was to actually move our festival to October, where it was less hot, but to stay downtown. But for safety reasons, like tonight, not giving my address, we cannot do this. When we have organizations like the Proud Boys and a new sister group called Moms for Liberty that is now in Cumberland County, we have to watch out because no one else is going to watch out for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Mr. Sean McMillan.
Good evening, Mr. McMillan.
Good evening. My name is Sean McMillan. I live here in Fayetteville. I'm a community advocate and organizer. I'd like to urge the council to reject and repeal the police-mandated curfew proposed a week ago without full consideration of the negative impacts. Our youth deserve support, not criminalization. The proposal harkens back to the days of my youth when young black children were labeled super predators and hunted by the police, caged ruthlessly and written off as communities they were taken from were increasingly destabilized. This intensified what is known as the era of mass incarceration, the impacts of which are well documented. And it's hard to believe that here we are in 2025 still dusting off and resurrecting archaic and damaging relics like youth curfews. Police-enforced curfew would place a bullseye on the backs of many young adults who have the right to exist freely and without police harassment. In 2025, stop and frisk tactics will unleash what is statistically one of the most lethal police departments in the state of North Carolina. Najee Higgins, Shakir McNair, Lawrence Graham, Trevor Smotherman, Kevin Grissett, Adrian Roberts, Jason Walker, Lawrence Artis, DeMarcus Brody, Joshua Oxendine, Justin Lifsay, and Jada Johnson. This is a partial list of those who've died locally of police homicide. There is even youth that have been brutalized, like Jelana Dunlap in 2023. And this police-enforced curfew will have paved the way for what could have been avoided. It's important that we mitigate continued harm in ways that don't create more harm. I fully support efforts to come together to develop a strategy that helps the community to address the root causes of violence and crime. In past years, the City Council has participated in groundwater training. Here they learn the comprehensive approach to addressing all parts of the community to mitigate harm. The real work, the proverbial sausage making, is in creating something akin to the task force Councilmember Hondros recommended, working across a broad community-based coalition to address systemic ills, pulling in city and county experts along with impacted community members. I'll leave you with this. When cages and profiling are prioritized as a solution, while there is no mention of attributing what drives the violence, racial inequality, economic inequality, generational poverty here in Fayetteville. When we do this, we doom ourselves to a cycle of eternal harm with no real hope of progress or transformation. Repeal the curfew, focus on addressing the root causes with everything you have. We keep us safe. All of us are none.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Mr. Leonard Williams.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, esteemed city leaders and fellow citizens. As wellness coordinator for the state, I am a resiliency coach, or ordained minister, a social worker of 34 years. I'm dedicated my life in healing and transformation. I hail from the city of Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been in Fayetteville for almost 20-some odd years. In North Carolina for 20 odd years, and Fayetteville for probably 5 years. We had a civil unrest in 2001 in April on my birthday. It was on a 3 p.m. curfew. Our youth pretty much burnt the city down. When the kids don't get heat from the village, they will burn down the village. And I would really hate for that to happen to this wonderful city that I just bought 5 acres up in Linden. As wellness coordinator with the state, I work with our first responders. I train them to be coherent. As a citizen in the city, I've understood that our citizens aren't coherent. When they drive, how they socialize, even our children. I am a heart math trainer. I am a resiliency coach. I want to teach our citizens how to be more coherent, how they interact with one another. I am a heart math trainer. That is an evidence-based program that the state has trained me for to work with our first responders. I would love to share that knowledge with our youth. I understand that the school system got some lead issues with, everybody knows in this room that lead does affect us cognitively in how we think and how we interact, especially for our kids. So just think what lead is doing to our adults also. And I know it's in the water. I am part of an organization called Treasure Within Wellness. I offer heart math training, science-backed mindfulness practices that enhances emotional regulation and resilience. But resilience is just the ability to bounce back. And I think this city, this can-do city, can bounce back from this thing that we're going on. My people on my caseload perish for the lack of knowledge. I offer new knowledge, new mindsets, and I would love for this city to be a mindfulness city in which all the staff and all the citizens can have this heart math training. It's evidence-based. NFL players do it, corporate levels do it, and I'm a master trainer of it. So you got team, you have an MVP amongst you. I would love to share my talents with the city. I find my treasure in assisting others in discovering theirs. With love and commitment, let's make Fayetteville a beacon of wellness and resiliency. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Ms. Demetria Murphy.
Put on my glasses so I can see my other ones. So typically I would look up at you guys, but today I got a lot to say, so I'm gonna read straight from my paper. I brought notes. Stay on track. So my name is Demetria Murphy. Many of y'all know me. I hold my master's in social work, so I have a license. I'm a licensed clinical substance abuse counselor and a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a certified financial social worker. I'm the co-founder of Heal the Ville. I'm a CEO of Youth Diverse Intervention Group. I'm a certified opioid intervention and prevention specialist. I'm a certified youth mental health first aid facilitator. I specialize in evidence-based interventions. I'm the CEO of Divine Infinity Therapeutic Services, and I'm a current PhD student and criminal justice leadership. That's just to give you a few of my credentials. However, I was formerly 178-55056, a federal inmate for 10 years. I stand here as the population that people are talking about this curfew is targeting. And so I stand before you today to express my thoughts regarding this proposed curfew. When I attended the meeting last Monday, I found myself grappling with the question, why now? This curfew came after I previously spoke with Mayor Colvin to discuss the first curfew and explore how community organizations could assist in addressing the growing concerns of youth and young adults involved in crimes. Based on the feedback that came from the council back then, unfortunately, those efforts did not yield the desired results. From my understanding, legal matters concerning liability insurance, might I add, every practicing social worker must have their own liability insurance. And there were some other things that hindered it. Now we are faced with an impulsive decision to implement a curfew in the wake of a tragic event. The paralysis of the young lady at the carnival, gunfires in close proximity to the Dogwood Festival, a person being shot in main event. However, what I would like to address, because I'm going to go ahead and speed it down, Chief Joyce addressed the fact that we had a 12-year-old that's in DJJ for murder. We have a 14-year-old that was caught coming into Festival Park carrying a gun. So I'm not opposed to this curfew. I'm not opposed to this being a preliminary measure to finding a solution. Each of you provided a recommendation the last time. So let me fast forward a little bit, because you know we only got 3 minutes. It's very, very disheartening. The fact of the matter that when we look at this, when they respond to these crimes, these kids look like me. They black and brown. They're not white. So let's be very clear. We can't keep putting no racial blanket over top of what's going on in our communities. In our communities, they're going to black people houses, telling a black parent that their kid is gone. So we needed this curfew. We needed it then more than we needed it now, because we may have saved some lives then if we would have got it then. So now we made a desperate decision. I'm for it, because at the end of the day, anything that's going to save one of these kids' lives is what we have to do. So when you hear people that sit out here talking about don't do a curfew, half of them ain't parents anyway. Because I got a 10-year-old, and be very clear, she's not going to be outside 11 o'clock at night. You need to clear your mind. You're going to clear it in your room.
Thank you, Ms. Murray.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Mr. Chris Hoffman.
Good evening. I'm Chris Hoffman, CEO of Cape Fear Botanical Gardens, located at 536 Northeast Boulevard. And we're a 501c3 nonprofit and one of Fayetteville's top cultural and environmental attractions. Our mission is simple and powerful: to transform people's relationships with plants and the natural world. Celebrating our 35th anniversary, we have welcomed over 1 million guests and expect 86,000 guests this year, which will be our highest ever. We're recognized as a North Carolina Environmental Education Center and approved Cumberland County field trip destination. Our 80 acres are a living laboratory, and we will educate approximately 13,000 people this year, including 6,000 Title I students across 9 counties in our school field trips, camps, and on-site programs. We have a staff of 30 and generate $3.5 million annual economic impact for the community. We're here tonight because the Parks and Rec have proposed routing the Cape Fear River Trail extension through the garden's conservation easement. This concept of a trail has existed for decades, yet communication from city staff has been limited and often last minute. We're asking the city to consult with and solicit the opinion of Cape Fear Botanical Gardens for the specific siting of the trail in keeping with the language of the warranty deed. And it reflects our desire for open and authentic engagement between the city and the garden. There's 2 easements with the property. There's a 50-foot warranty deed easement for a multi-purpose trail, and that trail is to be above the 100-year floodplain, which is at an elevation of 83. Do the math. That's about a 70-foot high boardwalk at where the river is at today. A second easement is a 200-foot conservation easement that's held by the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, the North Carolina Land and Water Fund, of which the garden is the grantor with the rights to engage in and to permit others to engage in passive recreational uses. The proposed trail is currently located outside of the allowable 50-foot easement, and it goes through the garden. It's concerning in its negative impacts, such that it undermines our admission revenue model by opening unauthorized access to the garden. Fencing, as proposed to control public access, would disrupt the garden's visitor experience and our environmental education program. It also eliminates our guest access to and along the river. The fencing also negatively impacts wildlife movement, counter to the very purpose of a conservation easement. We're not against trail connectivity, but we're against this location through the garden. Alternatives may exist, such as routing the trail along Northeastern Boulevard, connecting to Riverside Dog Park and the Cross Creek Linear Trail to downtown, running outside the garden's northwest property, parallel to Grove Street, and along our southwest border and property to the proposed city Cape River Park. Our goal tonight is to raise awareness, affirm our desire to be a true stakeholder in the process, and we welcome the chance to meet with city staff and discuss routes which would retrieve trail connectivity and preserve the treasure that is Cape Fear Botanical Gardens.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, our next speaker is Mr. Clifton Goodwin. Mr. Clifton Goodwin, not present. Our next speaker is Mr. Freddie De La Cruz. Mr. Freddie De La Cruz, not present. Our next speaker is Mr. Benjamin Holtquist.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ben Holtquist from Strong Towns, Fayetteville, here to talk about homelessness. In their book, Homelessness is a Housing Problem, Greg Colburn and Clayton Page Aldern dismantle the arguments that homelessness is a substance abuse or mental health problem, and show definitively that the problem is a lack of housing. Last week, Myron Pitts of The Observer wrote a great article amplifying this problem. He told the heartbreaking story of Carol Mills getting priced out of her home because her landlord raised the rent by $200 and her struggle to find a place in her budget of $900 a month. Let that sink in. This woman is about to be homeless because her landlord raised her rent by over 20% in 1 year. That is unconscionable. In the last 10 years, rent has outpaced wages by 10% in Fayetteville. If we don't build more housing at all price points, homelessness will only increase. Large single-family developments and luxury apartment complexes are not enough. They are designed for the relatively highly paid Army officers and soldiers of Fort Bragg, not retail and service workers. What we need are duplexes, additional dwelling units, and small starter homes, most of which can be built or converted by local contractors, plumbers, and electricians. The main thing stopping these units from being built is misguided zoning restrictions that make them illegal in most areas. Let's get rid of these outdated regulations and put local contractors, plumbers, and electricians to work to solve our homelessness problem. Let's also enact rent control so that when the Army increases its housing allowance, retail workers aren't put out on the street. This also allows soldiers to keep their raises instead of giving it to landlords whose costs have not increased. I am not anti-soldier after all. What won't help solve this problem is putting up signs telling people they aren't allowed to ask for charity when we've built a society where they are forced to rely on that charity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Kanchan Kamone.
Bring a big folder. I just say it all. Can I give?
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kong Kamon. I came from Laos. We came from Idaho right before COVID, and we ended up getting a couple houses from the landlord over here next to the gas station in downtown. It's at 206 Campbell Avenue, and a couple houses, across the street from it. My background is I used to run the care home in Idaho. It's called Certified Family Home. It's similar to a group home here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I took care of 4 people, including my grandmother, who passed away 2016 at 106. I've been taking care of her like 21 years total, all by myself, along with the 2 relatives, my uncle. They're all in wheelchair and stuff. So we got stuck after COVID lockdown, and we couldn't go back to Idaho like 2 years later. And I left the house over there, and then the grass about this tall, and 2 years later. And I know the city mayor over there, we friends and stuff. They didn't give me the ticket or anything, for 2 years. Anyway, the reason I come down here tonight, I would like to ask the city council, asking for more time on the fixing the 206. I got involved with the accident right in front of Harry Theater 2 years ago, and that knocked me down and unconscious. And I suffer with head concussion and double vision and stuff, That's why I kind of like behind on my work on the house and stuff.
we've been doing like try to make our area nice and stuff. If you remember back in 2020, you would see the flowers all over the place, right behind the gas station. And then 2021 is all the snapdragons all over the front. So, and we kind of clean up. I have the Bobcat, and we kind of clean the Dick Street, around our area. It looked nicer.
Thank you.
So, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And, I hope City Council would allow me more time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can we get somebody from staff to talk to him? Sir, someone from staff will meet you outside if you'd like to speak to them.
This way, sir.
Over here.
Our next speaker is Mr. D'Angelo Brown. Mr. D'Angelo Brown? Not present. Our next speaker is Mr. Jimmy Planter. Mr. Jimmy Planter.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. My name is Jimmy Plater, small business owner, address of 225 Green Street. The purpose of me being here today is to talk about ending homeless, present tiny homes for veterans to you, and come up with a solution that we have and how our approach is different from other nonprofits and how we can end homelessness for veterans. We're joining forces with a Fortune 50 company, actually two of those that's going to help us in this endeavor. And one of the main challenges that we have with those, not with the Fortune 50, we started our research a little over a year ago and came to the solution that we have great nonprofits that's out here that's doing clothing very well, they're doing shelter very well, they're also doing transportation very well. But when we went back and studied this, our model, we looked at what was missing, what was the main driver, why we have homeless veterans here in the city. And we came down to the primary common denominator was the economic component. So I'm also the president of Extension Enterprise Group, which is a for-profit company, which our responsibility is we have government contracts. We do work on Fort Liberty and your regional facility management company. But Redeploying American Veterans is a 501c3 and with the sole purpose of ending homelessness. The VA has said many years ago, we can end homelessness for our veterans, but we all need to do it together. And that has been our charge from the onset. As you know, is within the most recent statistics that's out here, 19,000 folks fall into homelessness every day. 19,000. Out of that 19,000 that falls in homelessness, 20% of those are veterans. Every day. Every day. And by we looking at Fayetteville as being the go-to can-do city, is we like to be the model, the shining star on the hill to end homelessness as we see it for veterans. After we solve it for veterans, we like to do it as for all homelessness across the board. Our target time is 2029. We again, we have the backing of the Fortune 50 companies, and we have some great wisdom that we have from Senator Applewhite that's behind me. A couple of councils, I talked to you guys about that appreciate the support. But our secret sauce that we have is we created an ecosystem model, right? And in that ecosystem, it pertains to one, we have to train the veterans, right? We have to give them stable environment to live. And then we have to give them a livable wage, right? And our ecosystem We have all the support services. Do we have all the stakeholders, all the folks that would be required in order to get this endeavor off the ground? We have all of those. We have identified those. We are starting those conversations, and we're moving to that next level. But what we asked of the city is some land and a space for us to go ahead and get this endeavor off the ground.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. We do have one other speaker. He had come in today at 12:30, and I understand that our clerk was out to lunch, and she was not notified that he did come into the building to sign up. So, and I apologize. It is Stuart Calick. Are you here? Yes. Please come up, and we have over 16 minutes left. So since we were not informed, we want to honor that you came in today to sign up before 5.
Yes. Hello, good evening, everyone. You know, I'm a representative of...
Hold on 1 second so we can... Okay, there you go, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'm a representative of the homeless veterans. You know, I spoke at the White House in 2001. They put the bill in my name to HR 2716, Stuart Collick and Heather French, Miss America. You know, it's a problem when you got the youth and you got the grown-ups. We got to come to a part of giving them some structure. Structure comes from when you go to, like, the boys' club, the girls' club, with people there to help build you. And it's 48% of proven fact that they get to where they got to go. But we don't do it, we don't have no problem. No structure, nowhere to do, nothing to do. Children get lost. This is a bigger city than we think it is. We're looking at the city, but we ain't looking at the post. You got thousands and thousands, millions and millions of people here. And millions of children that need some education, need some structure, a new way to live. But if we don't give them nothing, what they gonna do? The same thing. Running crazy. It's just like you let a dog and a cat out the house. They gonna run wild. They ain't gonna be tamed. But we gotta come with some kind of structure. We come up with a boys club, girls club, give them something to do. Because when I was in Alabama, I taught a lot of children how to swim. Free, no problem. When I was in Georgia, we used to go to the schools, do occupational therapy. We go to the schools, the police, fire department, military, all of them would come there. And the children would admire that because why? Now they got an ambition to be something because they talk to the people that are something. But we don't give them nothing, you're going to get nothing. But if you would give them that, they would have a better chance of trying to be that. Sometimes it just takes a little talking, a little showing, and a little time for a little child to change their whole lifestyle and show respect to the child instead of not respecting. And a little structure will go a long ways. That's what I have to say.
Thank you. So, council, that is the end of our public forum, and so we're in hour 3 of our meetings that we started, well, really hour 4. So I am going to ask that we have at least 5-minute break.
Mayor Pro Tem, are you asking for a motion to recess?
No, do I have to ask for a motion?
I think it would be proper.
Okay, can I get a motion to recess? Okay, all those in favor? Councilmember Benavente?
Were there no other speakers?
No, sir.
Okay, green.
Can I get your vote? Did he say green? Okay, thank you. All right, y'all. Got one more.
City of Fayetteville Solid Waste Department is popping up through the city to bring residents information about solid waste. Dwight Francis, the household waste supervisor, tells us about what you can expect at these events.
What we collect, what we don't collect, what you can use to collect it in, the type of containers we use, brown, green, blue carts, trash bags, and things of that nature. So far, we're getting very warm reception. The people that are showing up are very happy with the solid waste services they're receiving. Some concerns on how we can do things better, and that's what we want to hear. We want to know what we can do better to improve the solid waste collection services. Our goal is to create a more, say, tight-knit community between solid waste collection and the public. We want to let everybody know that whatever you need done, if we're doing it in solid waste, we want to provide the best service we can. We need your input to let us know where we need to improve, what we need to do a little bit better. And so we want everybody to come out and say what you got to say, tell us what we need to hear, good or bad. We're here to make adjustments as much as necessary.
These pop-ups will be taking place the third Wednesday of every month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information on future locations, you can visit our website, fayettevillenc.gov/solid-waste, and check out our social media pages. For Faye TV News, I'm Kayla Alenis.
According to the City Historical Properties map, the Prince Charles Hotel is a circa 1923 landmark property and is located at 438th Street. Built from 1923 to 1925, the 7-story Prince Charles Hotel is called one of the finest colonial revival structures in the downtown commercial district of Fayetteville. The fireproof building, constructed of steel, concrete, and brick, began as a local stock company enterprise and opened in 1925 with 125 rooms. It was enlarged in 1942. The venture experiencing both surge and setbacks during its lifetime, the hotel operated in the manner of grand downtown establishments by catering to the southbound tourist train, servicing passengers from nearby trains and local residents who patronized the fine dining room. It's just one of the locations that you can find on the Fayetteville historical map. But if you scan the QR code down below, you can find many more.
So we're here inside Orange Street School, built in 1915 as a wonderful educational resource for the African American community.
Refreshing it, new coat of paint, bringing it back to life so that we can use it and again, hopefully use it to touch another generation.
Students learn in so many different ways. Some students are more hands-on, and this opportunity will give more of a hands-on approach.
A partnership in the Fayetteville-Cumberland community is breathing new life into this historical project, turning the Orange Street School building into both a museum and a modern educational facility to honor the generations that have come before and build up the generations yet to come. We're going to take a look at the 3 focuses of this project to show you what will be and what was.
One of the fun and exciting, unique things happening to Orange Street is we will have a creative cultural arts academy where young people will get an opportunity to explore different parts of creative arts. Each month we will focus on a different talent where they can learn about careers and actually participate in things that will make this place better for young people. On the second floor of the historic building, there will be a music lab where youth can learn about music and the start and making of building a project on their own. And we will also have a STEM lab where we will exercise science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to help the students to learn more about how they can take things that they learned in school and make it to be more practical. One of the goals for the Creative Academy is to prepare students for future careers in anything cultural arts. The Creative Academy will give them a free space to be unique and to be them.
It was a long road to get here through the renovation.
The renovation primarily focused on structural integrity. We had to replace the floor joist, build the floor up, make it secure, roof replacement, bringing back a lot of the refreshing it, new coat of paint, bringing it back to life.
But at the same time, the community wanted to make sure its history was preserved.
Alongside me are a number of images of young faces that would have found this facility as an educational resource, as a way to help build the community surrounding Orange Street. I think the significance is how much, as this school continued to thrive, we're on the second floor, the home of E.E. Smith High School, and so many alumni are in our community. So bringing it to a chance where a new generation of very young faces are going to be here as a way to build their futures in this place of education. One of the special places on the second floor has been set up as a historic classroom, and that's something we're going to preserve and even augment with historic items. There is a collection here maintained by the Orange Street School Restoration and Historical Association, and we're perusing through wonderful images and exciting artifacts that help tell the story not only of Orange Street and education, but artifacts that relate to African American cultural history in this community. One of the first times I came into Orange Street School, I had the opportunity to meet some folks who had attended school here years ago. And when I walk the halls, I tend to think of the images I've seen of Edward Evans and some of the teachers and some of the students. And it's just so exciting to know that there's going to be that type of energy again and that type of uplifting, not only within the walls, but extending into the community. It'll be exciting to see some of those faces who learned here come back and be a part of the learning that will happen here as well.
The Fayetteville City Council is the elected governing body that represents the residents of Fayetteville. The City Council consists of 9 council members and a mayor. All 9 council members are elected from single-member districts, and only residents living within each district may vote for each district seat. The mayor is elected at large, which means they represent the entire population of the city, not just a specific district. The mayor acts as the official head of city government and presides at city council meetings. The mayor is a voting member of the council. Council members and the mayor are not full-time employees of the city, but they are financially compensated for their time and certain expenses. Once elected, all members of the Fayetteville City Council serve for a term of 2 years.
The Husk Hardware House was originally constructed in the opening years of the 1900s as a hardware store. It was named after its founder, William Husk, who was a prominent figure in the community. During that time, Fayetteville was an important industrial hub in North Carolina, and Husk's hardware store catered to the needs of local farmers, tradespeople, and residents, providing essential tools and equipment for the area's growing economy. The building itself was designed in a style that blended commercial and industrial architectural elements. It became a central part of the local business district and was a vital resource for the surrounding community for many years. By 1914, the 3-bay building was extended with 4 side banks housing 2 additional stores. Husk Hardware operated until at least the 1960s. It remains a feature of downtown Hay Street in Fayetteville. This is just one of the locations that you can find on the Fayetteville historical map, but if you scan the QR code down below, you can find many more.
All right, I'm calling the meeting back to order. So we are going to go to the consent agenda. I will go to Councilmember Hare.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I would like to pull item 8.0A7, and then I'll move to accept the agenda, to approve the agenda, and pulling item 8.0A7.
Okay, can I get a second? Second from Councilmember Hondros. Do we have any discussion? All right, I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, pulling item 80A7 for a discussion. So with that, I will call for the vote. Okay, that is unanimous with those. Yeah, did I hear you say he said green?
Green.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, Councilmember
Thank you.
Hare, I'll go to you.
Thank you. did not we have our attorney that was going to come forward? Counsel, as I was saying in our pre-meeting earlier, this is an item that I have struggled with, and many folk have struggled with within the city. When there is a wreck with multi-vehicles or just a one-car collision, a lot of times after the tow trucks have come and left, many occasions, just over the weekend I saw this, we see a lot of debris, crash debris that's still on the curbs or in the middle of the street that have been either pushed to the side or through just driving back and forth. And what my concern was there a way that we could improve this ordinance to not only include the tow truck drivers that are on City of Fayetteville rotation, but also just the tow truck industry altogether, that whenever they come and whenever they remove the vehicles, that they please remove the broken glass and the broken parts and bumpers that we see, sometimes even left in the street. So I pulled this item that I had brought forward just to ask the attorney to come in to explain it. And does it mean all of the industry, or does it just mean those that are on rotation with us? And just kind of explain it and help us get the word out of this big concern that we have in the city. Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So at the city attorney's office, what we looked at with this ordinance is, and currently, as you know, with the police department's record rotation list, all of those private tow companies that are on that rotation list have a duty to clean up these collision sites, because failure to clean up those sites, they are subject to being kicked off of the list. So what we looked at was, how can we hold the private tow companies who may or may not be on the list, how can we require them to make sure that they also clean up the collision sites? And we noticed that there was nothing in the ordinance that gave law enforcement the enforcement power to actually require them to clean up the collision site. So what this ordinance will do is require all towing companies, whether or not they're on the towing rotation list or not. And if you look at the first sentence in the ordinance, it says all towing operators engaged to perform a tow as defined in section 24-221. Now, our current ordinance lists in section 24-221 the definition of what a towing operator is, and that means any person, firm, corporation, or other entity, whether licensed or not, who owns or operates a business which engages in whole or in part in the business of towing, removal, or storage of motor vehicles in the city of Fayetteville. So this ordinance would wrap all towing operators who tow a vehicle from a collision site be required to clean up the collision site.
Well, is it Joshua?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. That was a part of my purpose. I know that this ordinance alone will not, put any force behind what we are wanting. I was hoping that maybe some information could be sent to the industry, or if our police department, they did give us a couple of thoughts earlier upstairs. I don't know if that's something they could reinforce to the officers to make sure that our streets get clean and that the debris gets taken up. But I think probably everyone that's in this room, period, even surrounding this diocese or sitting in the galley, probably has come across wreck debris that sometimes it makes it very unsafe to drive if it's sometimes left right there in the middle. Nobody wants to, get a flat tire or something to jam up into the vehicle. So that was my whole purpose for bringing this, and I can make a motion to move forward, or unless there's some discussion, you can just come back to me, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, do we have any discussion? All right, would you
Then
like to
Mayor-
make that form of
Yes,
motion?
then Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve and adopt item 8.0A7, the ordinance requiring tow operators to clean accident sites.
All right, Councilmember Hondros, is that a second? All right, I've got a motion by Councilmember Hare, a second by Councilmember Hondros. Any discussion? All right, let's vote. Councilmember Benavente?
Green.
All right, that is unanimous. So we will go to 9.0. Other items of business, presentation of the recommended fiscal year 2025-2026 annual operating budget and the setting of the budget public hearing. So I want everybody to realize before we start, this is a recommended budget by staff to the council.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you, Council, as well. As Jeff Yates, Assistant City Manager, comes to the podium, I'd like to thank him and the entire Budget and Evaluation team headed by Kimberly Leonard, who is our Budget and Evaluation Director. It's with great pleasure that we present tonight's recommended budget for next year. These budgets that we have put together the last couple of years have been increasingly challenging. This year's budget has also proved to be equally so, partly because of the revaluation, which has given the city additional financial resources, but also it also signals the end of the sales tax and annexation agreements that we had with Cumberland County. As you said, and as we shared earlier, this is indeed the manager's recommended budget. We look forward to, over the next couple of days and weeks, to transform this from the staff's budget into the council's budget, which are hopeful adoption in June. The budget is one of several key documents that guide the city's development and its operations. It first starts with the development of the City Council's strategic plan, which you'll recall we did earlier this year, and Jeff Yates will actually include some of that in his presentation tonight. It also includes the capital improvement program, which looks at projects of over $50,000 in durable life that we have to finance or we have to plan on a 5-year window. The council received that report at your last regular meeting. It also includes the budget, which again, we're presenting today. And the last one, of course, is your financial audit, which we will deliver to you sometime later this fall. Those documents bookend our operations as a city and our existence as an organization governed by North Carolina state law. So again, without any further ado, it's my pleasure to, again, have Jeff Yates walk us through the recommended budget for FY26.
Thank you, Dr. Hewitt. Mayor Pro Tem pointed out, this is the manager's recommended budget. So at this point, we've fulfilled the legal obligation to bring that before you and turn that over. The manager has a responsibility to do that by June 1st. We are several weeks ahead of that deadline. But at this point, we'll hand it to you and you can deliberate. We'll have several work sessions where we'll talk about a variety of topics, and we will cover those at the end and kind of what that schedule looks like. In the interest of time, in the hour, so I'll keep it brief. As mentioned, the council met in the spring, in the January and February timeframe, when we looked at the priorities, commitment to comprehensive approach to public safety, revitalization efforts, parks and recreation opportunities, economic growth, and transportation, enhancing transportation and connectivity. As we were developing this process, the budget was underway at that point. We tried to intertwine these in and look at those opportunities where we could push forward council's priorities as well as its goals. With that in mind, we really had 3 core principles we worked off of in this budget. First is the focus on employees. Employees are necessary to do the job. They're our most important asset. So the first priority that we had was focus on those employees and taking care of those. And we'll have a recommendation on employee pay increases, as well as honoring the steps in police, fire, and telecommunications. That included maintaining the workforce we have, which means not reducing positions, but kind of working those through. Focus on maintaining services and commitments.
The city council's made a number of commitments over the years, whether that's the Cape Fear Regional Theater or a series of museums and so forth. So we wanted to be sure we fulfilled those obligations, and we maintained our services. We operate at a high level, and we wanted to continue to do that. Then finally, when we looked at possible investments to meet your strategies, we looked at those things that were high value and high impact. Over the last few years, the city has we've not really increased our service delivery capacity. So as we worked with directors this year, we literally looked at those things that were necessary to address that changing service demand. We'll talk a little more Thursday about that service demand and how it looks. If you remember during the retreat, we talked about how demand typically will outpace the available resources. So we're really focused on adding those things which add value, high impact, and align with council priorities. So with that in mind, kind of bottom line up front, the total recommended budget you have in front of you tonight is about $8.5 million less than the budget from 2025. This is due to a variety of factors. One of those issues is we no longer are making those annexation payments. We're recommending $4.6 million in the general fund for employee compensation. And I'll talk about how that breaks down in just a moment, but that is also assuming a vacancy rate of about 7.4% and maintains our 37 frozen police officer positions. We confirmed with the police chief this morning, as late as this morning, that the 37 frozen positions, there's not an expectation that we'll be able to fill those this next year just because of the throughput of the academy and our ability to do that. But in that conversation, what we have said is we maintained overhire positions, and if we got to the point where we needed them, we'd create an avenue or work with the police chief and the council to find a way to bring those on. So those shouldn't hamper his hiring. We have $2.5 million for the employees for 4% pay increase. We have $800,000 for the police department steps. That's continuing honoring the STEP program, which has been in place for a while, but last year we tied to a year of service. We have $650,000 for the fire department steps and $50,000 for the telecommunicator steps. We also have $625,000 for the next round of the 401k increase. If you remember several years ago, you as a council started the strategy under the idea of being the employer of choice, that we'd continue to build that 401k program as a way to attract employees. The sworn officers in PD are already at 5%. This 1% will take our firefighters and all of our other employees to 4%. So we're 1 year out after this year, or after 26, to be able to achieve that goal. The recommended tax rate is 44.95 or 44.95. That's a little bit above, about 6 cents above the revenue neutral tax rate. That's driven by several key factors. We've lost sales tax revenue. The total loss in sales tax revenue is right around $14 million. But the net impact when you take away the annexation payments is about $3.1 million. And this is due to the county changing the methodology for distribution of that. We have reduced motor vehicle ad valorem taxes. At this rate, if you'll remember, there are 4 categories of taxes. The first one being real property, which is what the reval and that discussion kind of dealt with, is valuing that property. But there's also business personal property. There is public service property, which are train tracks, power lines, all those different things. And there's also motor vehicles. The 13-cent reduction recommended in your tax rate reduces the tax impact on those other 3 categories because they are not set based on reval. They're set by the Machinery Act as a declining schedule, a declining depreciation schedule. So with that, the impact of that, and in addition to seeing a decline in the vehicle market, we're expecting about $2.4 million less in motor vehicle tax revenue. And that is not the licensing fee, but that's the ad valorem rate you pay on your vehicle at the time you register it. Again, the compensation increase for employees, about $4.6 million. Our annual funding of our police department video technology, that's the body-worn cameras, car cameras, and so forth, that's about a $2.6 million increase. That is primarily because during COVID and with ARPA, we had funded that expansion of the Axon contract using one-time sources. So the ARPA, we finally expended all of our funds, are in the final stages of expending those. So we wanted to continue that program, and we recommend that you continue that program. So we had to find funding within the police are within our available budget to do that. So that was added to the police department. In addition, we have about $3.1 million of new investments, and that is offset with about $1.3 million of identified service reductions. We went to every director and we said, if we have a limited bucket of revenue, what are your current services that we can't fund at that revenue level? They told us that. We had long conversations about what should be added back and what not. So that's the $1.3 million that was not recommended at this point. We also asked them, what are those high impact investments? Everything from additional permit inspectors and additional inspectors in development services to fire inspectors to IT security personnel. We'll talk a little bit more about how those break out against your priorities. But in looking at that, there was about $3.1 million of new investment that that the directors had asked for to help them do their job better. We have no recommended rate increases for stormwater or solid waste. We are recommending maintaining the fast rates as you heard at the 1st of April in your April work session. A fair equity study had been done. It did recommend that there was capacity there, but based on your guidance, we have not recommended that at this point. And then finally, keeping the revenue neutral rate within the downtown district. Basically meaning that that is the tax rate necessary to generate the same amount of revenue that came in last year. The recommended tax rates. So I mentioned that 4495 is the recommended rate for 2026. If you'll remember, our rates, when we talked about CIP, our rates break down into 4 major categories. The operating rate, which is the largest chunk of your tax rate. The Parks and Rec GO bond rate, which is the amount of money necessary to support the debt service for the 2017 Parks and Recreation bonds, which we're wrapping up those projects. I think the tennis center and the Cape Fear River Trail are the last pieces of that, along with MacArthur Park. We have the Public Safety and Housing GO bond, which includes the recently 2022 GO bonds, 911 center, and the housing piece. I will tell you that the good news, given the valuation increase and so forth, we were able to put back in the $12 million of housing bonds into your capital improvement program. So now all of the bond funds are programmed in the capital plan. And then we have the dedicated capital improvement rate, which is the ongoing cost that you have for maintenance of facilities, vehicles, for any number of capital, as Dr. Hewitt mentioned, any number of capital improvements that we have. The big driver behind it being the 4-cent rate in that area is really the debt service that's going to come from MacArthur Sports Complex. If you remember, council authorized just under $19 million of limited obligation bonds to build that complex. It's about a $22 million project, and that's what will be necessary to support that. So all in all, when you add all those up, you get to the 4495. The recommended new investments, there is about $1.9 million of investments in the Goal 5. The biggest chunk of that is the construction management program you heard at your work session on the 5th. Right at $1.1 million of that. That includes some staffing changes in the construction management office, as well as the contract with Freese and Nichols. That includes also some IT support for the organization as we have grown and as we grow bigger and larger and more complex and more systems. We require additional support for that. We have about $130,000 investment in Goal 6. That's the citizen and business engagement. That is there to support Marcom with content creation as well as additional PIO services. $422,000 around Priority 1 from this last spring. That's a continued commitment to community safety. That is fire marshals. That is pay equity analysis or a pay study for public safety. And then $692,000 investment in Priority 2. Revitalization efforts and addressing housing needs. That is for development services to provide additional inspectors and technical assistance and those things that allow them to be keep up with the development, the changing laws and the changing code, and be able to provide that service. Your general fund, I just want to point out real quick that your general fund's about $205 million. That's down about 6%. As you can see, when we look at ad valorem, even with the recommended rate being where it's at against revenue neutral, is still slightly less than what the budget for 2025 is. In our other taxes, it's about the same. I'll point out sales tax, you can see going from 64 million down to 51 million. That's our biggest reduction we're seeing. And then, of course, all the other revenues, investment income, and so forth. They look large, but they are small dollar changes comparatively. Oh, wrong way, sorry about that. Next, we have general fund uses. We're recommending the pay increase. That's the $4 million. So that's your biggest growth in your personnel services. Your operating expenditures, that's generally all of your supplies and so forth. We're seeing some inflation on that. Contractual services are up. And that's due to a lot of that work we're doing with freezing nickels and so forth, and some other different support folks. Our capital outlay is down. That's because we're running it through the CIP now. And the transfer to other funds are down as we're recording those dollars directly in the fund to which they go to. And then as you can see, I'll draw your attention to the annexation payments are down completely. They went from 9.7 million to 0. Total budgets, I won't go through every one. I will point out that there's a big change. You look in the manager's office, looks like it's way up. That is a couple of factors that are driving that. First is the increase to construction management. So as we mentioned, the $1.1 million increase for construction management purposes. Then the full recognition of the OCS office, which is in there. That's about $2.3 million. And then the ICSA contracts. This is gross across all funds. So what you see in the manager's budget versus last year is that ICSA fund, and it's about $6 million of an increase. So all of those show up under the manager's budget because they're all managed through the manager's office. Okay, but again, total budget is down from 320 to 312. A couple of parking lot items that we've already put out there for discussion. We plan to, based on council guidance, use the same parking lot effort we have in the past. One of the proposed or requested items that is not funded at this point is a parking study for downtown parking and what that fund looks like going forward and what that operation looks like. I neglected to tell you at the front, the budget in front of you does not include the items discussed at last Monday's meeting. The budget was pretty much done and into production at that point. So there are several items which we don't have cost for yet. Additional public safety cameras, based on the conversation from last Monday night. Brief cam software, which is the AI that uses for those cameras. Festival park security upgrades. We are working on getting those numbers together. And then the last part is the right-of-way maintenance temp staffing wasn't able to fit in at the rate which we were proposing. So there's about $440,000, and this is that right-of-way staffing that's above the required level of maintenance. That's a heightened level of right-of-way and litter pickup. The process from here, on Thursday, we'll have a work session. We'll cover the operating budget and tax rate discussion, so we'll look at some performas around the stormwater, solid waste. We'll talk a little bit about the capital program for stormwater because that's the big driver. We'll have a little bit more tax rate discussion. We'll delve a little deeper into the items that are the investments, where we're increasing, where we're recommending that we invest those dollars to add to those services and have that conversation. And then, of course, we'll start working any council questions you have. You can provide those to myself, Kimberly, or to Jennifer, and we'll start to put those together. We'll put that on, as always, on the Budget Chronicles on our website and so forth. May 22nd, you have a work session. We're going to continue. The plan is to continue on the public and capital side, but also on the public safety discussion. Given the discussion last Monday night, the interest in fire, police, and Office of Community Safety, and kind of the changes going on around there, we recommend that you would take one of your work sessions and kind of dedicate it to that conversation. As we've had conversations with several of you, there's some questions about compensation for public safety in those areas. So we would recommend spending that time doing that or working through that. After tonight, if you approve, you'll call the public hearing for the 27th. at 6:30 p.m. That's the legally required public hearing. It has to occur 10 days after, has to occur no earlier than 10 days after the submission of the budget. And that'll set you up for adoption at any point after that. You have an additional work session scheduled for 10 a.m. on the 29th. That's the plan would be at that point is to come back to any open questions, try to reach consensus, and then address any parking lot items we have at that time. You have a regular work session on June 2nd at 2 p.m. Again, if necessary, we can have that one. Same idea, still trying to get to consensus, answering questions in any open parking lot. And then June 9th is your first regular meeting of June where we would recommend adoption. That gives us a chance, adopts it early enough that we get it ready for the July 1 date and allow everybody to start their year strong. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions or Mayor Pro Tem, if you'll take acceptance and move forward.
So I do have Councilmember Hare and then Davis.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and Mr. Assistant Manager Yates. Thank you for your presentation. I'm glad that you opened up by saying that this is staff's recommendation because there's nowhere a done deal tonight. We just got too much I feel that we need to do. I still can think about the promises that I made to residents when we were up upon the reval consideration and the folk were going from like $100,000 home to let's just say $170,000 and up, and we promised that we would give them more support in bringing things down as much as possible. And I know tonight is not tonight to do that. So I want to say thank you for that statement that you did make, because I totally agree with that. This is just staff's recommendation. How much money, leftover monies, did we have? And I think we kind of hit it a little bit upstairs or in our first little budget meeting, that didn't go anywhere or we didn't use that went to our fund balance. Do you know that amount of money?
So let me be sure I have the question straight.
Yes, sir.
You're asking what is the amount of fund balance, I assume unassigned fund balance above our policy level? Is that kind of what you're looking for?
And where did that come from? Yes.
Sure. So every year, of course, we finish our financial audit in the fall by the end of October. And when we do that and complete that work, we have an idea of, or we have our balance sheet and we know what our financial balances are. And when we did it this last year, we were right around 10%, which is your minimum policy.
Right.
We had some items that were in the audit this last year that were interfund loans and some additional items that at the start of the year that were picked up through grants and those kinds of things because we were waiting for some of that grant revenue to come in. With that in mind, then you brought your policy level up to right at 16%.
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be about 6 to 7 million above your policy level of 12%.
Which is what amount in dollars?
It is
ballpark.
It's going to be about 32 to 33 million.
Yeah. So as we get into the meat of our discussion, which I know is not this evening, in some stages in the past, we have taken some of those funds to help us do other things, as long as we did not go down at least past our minimum or, close to it over the years, correct?
Yes, sir. The council has a policy, as mentioned, of the 10% and 12% goal. The council's policy is also to use that funding on one-time items because it's essentially tantamount to your savings account. So using it for operational issues would just create a gap or a structural imbalance going forward. But any of those one-time items, as we work through the budget and work through the capital program, the council certainly has the ability to use that under your policy to offset those or to fund those.
Well, like I said, I won't really try to get into the depth or the meat of it this evening. Many of us around the diocese have concerns and want to see some changes and maybe even some cuts still. So I look forward to having those discussions because, we're not quite there yet. So thank you, Mr. Yates, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilmember Hare. Councilmember Davis, and then Councilmember Benavente.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I was ready to make the motion to accept it if there's no more questions, but I see there's some questions in the queue.
Okay, I will go to Councilmember Benavente.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Assistant City Manager Yates, at the last City Council work session, or I should say rather the special meeting, Councilmember Thompson made a motion that included a portion about the budget discussion to support summer programming funding as it relates to youth programming. Has that been incorporated into, like, since that time, since that motion was made, a week and a half ago, has that had an impact on the budget and what you presented today?
It has not. It has not been included. There is a working group that is working on all the items from that motion to try to establish costing for that. And that's why it's our recommendation that on the 22nd, during that work session, that all of those items, to the best extent that we know, there's several items that are kind of in depth and require a little bit more work to analyze and get ready. But a lot of that information will come back on the 22nd for your in-depth discussion and kind of dialogue about what that looks like from a budgetary perspective.
I know that there weren't a whole lot of concrete things said, but just want to make sure that the work group that's the city staff work group that's preparing that May 22nd information, does that include specifically summer programming and potentially even direct payments related to childcare for communities or for families that need it?
I believe that is included. It's everything that was in the motion. So it's a combination of IT, the police department, the manager's office, and other departments, Parks and Rec, that are coming together to look at that.
Thank you, Mr. Yates. That's all, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. So I'm sorry, Councilmember McNair, and then Hondros.
I was ready to second that.
Okay. Councilmember Hondros, was that discussion or a second?
Question.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, ACM Yates. Can we go to slide 5, please? General fund sources. When we look at the sales tax figures across the years, so the actual 24 was a little over 64 million. Budgeted for 25 was 64.5 million, correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
And then the projection for 26 is almost 51.5 million. Can you explain or go into a little bit why the drop-off?
I can. So first of all, the budget for 2025 was right around what we believed we would owe to the county and we would get in revenue based on the sales tax agreement that was put into place in 2022. 2026, starting July 1st, is the first year where we do not have in place any of those sharing agreements, but have a straight-up ad valorem levy-based distribution system. So before the county was on a per capita distribution, which means that the city, being the largest city in the county and having the majority of the population, got a larger chunk of sales tax. When it changed over to the levy methodology, levy is a combination of values and rate. So when the value, where it flipped the equation, and more of the value and the rate are in the county. So as the city's pie shrunk, the county's pie grew. So this is the first year that all of those agreements have gone away, and we're projecting that that's what our real sales tax number will be without any redistribution. I will say that the 25 budget does not include at this point the additional revenue we anticipate to get from the renegotiated agreement that was approved just a couple of weeks ago. And that'll be probably $2.5 to $3 million more than what we'd anticipated. So that'll be good. That'll be part of that discussion, Councilman Hare, related to what fund balance looks like and so forth.
Very good. So that 64.5 million budgeted for 25 actually would be something closer to 67 million.
I would anticipate that.
So but the point is, for the last couple of years, we've heard about the change in the formula or the equation of the sales tax distribution methodology. So this drop off from 64.5 or 67 million for fiscal year 2025 down to 51.5 million in 26 is the result of that.
Yes, sir. That would be correct.
And to your point, that was a good explanation of the per capita versus the ad valorem, but that interlocal agreement, it was kind of a modified per capita agreement really since 2004 or 5 when the big annexation occurred in the western part of the of Fayetteville, and western part of the county at the time that came into Fayetteville. So this was kind of reimbursing that modified per capita agreement was reimbursing the county and some of the other smaller municipalities because we took in the lion's share of the population. So if we could just go to the, thank you for that. If we could go to the next slide, 7.
This one or that one?
General fund uses that
Okay,
one.
there you go.
So on the middle there, transfer to other funds. Again, when we're looking at across the years, we're at 31 million in fiscal year 22, little over 30 million in 23, 32.4 in 24, 35 in 25, and then it drops off. The projected or recommended for 26 is 18 million. Can you explain that, please?
Absolutely. So the transfers to other funds, traditionally what you've seen there is the transfer of those dedicated tax rates that we talked about earlier. The Parks and Rec GO bond rate, the public safety housing GO bond, and the dedicated capital improvement rate. They traditionally have been recorded in the general fund and then transferred or sent over to the capital fund. With the change in our system in ERP, it's cleaner for us to send those, to record that revenue directly in those funds and reduce the transfers so that you're not grossing up the budget, because then those showed as revenue on the other side of the equation. You're kind of counting it twice, if you will. So what's there now is really the operational transfers. It's a little over $8 million, $8.5 million to transit. It is the, and that's the big one. There's several other transfers to some of the enterprise or the internal service funds, as well as the dedicated or non-dedicated tax revenue for capital projects. So there's recommendation, as you read through your books, you'll see a recommendation to use about $5.9 million of fund balance in the general fund for one-time items in the CIP.
I just want the public to understand that, and as we've established, I'm not a CPA, so to try to get my brain to wrap around these big numbers. So the larger numbers in fiscal year 22, 23, 24, 25 versus the smaller number in 26, it was because of transfers, which in essence, on accounting principles, you end up counting the same money twice.
Correct.
So then when we look at the bottom line and we look at the revised 2025 is 218 million, and then the recommended for 26 is 205 million. We didn't really save or lower the budget 13 million because there's a 17 million difference between transfer other funds in 35 million to the 18 million is about 17 million. So if you do the math, 17 on top of the 205 is really about 222 million. So we didn't really save 13 million. We're going to spend about 4 million extra, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. I will go to Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I move that we accept this report.
And I already,
Set the public hearing date. What date should we set it for?
The 27th at 6:30.
All right, I move that we accept this report and set the public hearing for May 22nd at 27th.
27th.
At what time?
6:30 p.m.
At 6:30 p.m.
And I had a second from Councilmember McNair, and correct? And then I will go to Councilmember Hare.
Yes, thank you. If you would, just for some more clarity, please share what accepting and the motion on this item tonight means, please.
Absolutely. And thank you for the question.
Okay, well, whoever. I was
sorry.
going to the maker of the motion, but yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Yates.
I thought you meant me.
No, it's fine. You can say.
So at this point in the evening, or at this point in the process, the staff has worked with it, and we are providing it to you as a council. Accepting it tonight, really, you accept the recommendation from the perspective of now it's your document and your budget. You will start working with it, and you will start to make your changes. Staff essentially hands it over to you at this point, and it'll be up to you to go forward and adopt it eventually.
So you're saying tonight, then that means that council would be accepting your proposal and setting the public hearing, correct?
Correct. Essentially receiving it.
So,
Receiving, okay, thank you.
If I may, just to say, what we are basically doing, we are accepting that they did the work.
Correct.
That we are going to take the book.
Correct.
We're going to get our red pens out.
Correct, most definitely.
We are going to have our meetings.
Correct.
And go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Correct.
And then come back.
Yes.
And do some great work sessions. And then the public hearing will come, and we will go from there. This is staff's recommendation.
Yes, it is.
We are now getting ready to make the sausage.
Yep, I just wanted to
Okay.
make it even more
Everybody
clear
clear?
to the public. Thank you.
Yes, and we do have to have our budget approved by state law, if I'm not, by June 30th, correct? Yes, so staff has done a great job in explaining everything to us, and like I said, now it's up to us to have our meetings, get our highlighters and our red pens and everything out, and play what they call it, Monopoly. It's like Monopoly. We have our money, and we have to figure out where's the best place to put it. It is our residents' money. So with that being said, I will call for the vote if there's no more questions. Okay, let's call for the vote.
Green.
All right, that is 8-1. Okay, council. We will go on to the next, and I'm sorry, I got myself all, okay, we're going to go to the proposed Youth Protection Safety Ordinance. City Attorney, I will hand it to you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Jensen, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. This item is on your agenda as an introduction. Pursuant to General Statute 160A-175, we are not permitted to pass this on its first reading or upon introduction. So absent further action by council, it will be on your May 27th agenda.
All right, so do I need to get a vote? I need to get a vote on this, or no? Just
It's
accept
just
the
for
vote.
introduction, so unless
Okay.
there's
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry, I did not, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Councilmember Benavente.
The first question, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, is for the city attorney. Do we actually have to take a vote before we can adjourn on this particular item on the agenda?
No, sir. The only time a vote would be necessary here is if council is going to take action contrary to what it did last time. So it's here just for the introduction.
Well, if while we're still on this particular agenda item, I'd like to make a motion similar to one that was made previously by Councilmember Hondros, that we give an opportunity for city staff to work with relevant partners, relevant agencies, relevant community organizations before we institute any sort of ordinance here in the city of Fayetteville related to criminalization curfew. And when it's appropriate, Madam, if there's a second, I would just have a question for our city manager on this issue.
All right, do we have a second? All right, Councilmember Hondros seconded. Do we have any discussion?
I just have a few questions for Mr. Manager.
Okay, I have Councilmember Banks McLaughlin for her first round, please, and then I'll get back to you, Councilmember Benavente.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So that was one of the questions we mentioned upstairs. So again, for this specific motion, it's for, because we can't vote on the same day. And we're going to have staff come back with information as far as partnership and things of that nature that we talked about upstairs. So is that correct?
Yes, Councilmember Banks McLaughlin. There is a task force that is being assembled by Mr. Brooke Redding, and we will get together and work out some of those questions.
Wasn't that the 27th they supposed to come back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the 27th. Okay, just wanted for clarity. Thank you.
Councilmember Benavente?
So I guess just to understand better, because I was not upstairs during the dinner meeting, are you saying that we have to pass the curfew first and then we can get more information about our partnerships?
No, sir. We won't be passing the ordinance today. It will be adopted May 27th, if that's council's pleasure. And at that time,
Okay, so
staff will come back with more information.
Understood. I think I got the numbers wrong with 22nd and 27th. So you're saying on the 27th, the same day that an ordinance is on the table, that some city staff, to include Special Projects Manager Redding, is going to have some information about curfews, maybe their efficacy? I mean, what sort of information is he bringing?
The information that staff will be bringing will be about the implementation of the ordinance.
And just a final question, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, and this is just perhaps for Mr. Redding to work on this so we don't have to belabor tonight much longer. Can these three questions be asked? Does the city of Charlotte have any data pointing to success from the brief period that they had a curfew? Can we ask why that they had a 300% increase in juvenile homicides in 2024 if the curfew works so well? And I would also ask if Chief Joyce could at some point speak to whether he is currently experiencing with his team, with his officers, any difficulties in approaching young people, whether it's after 11 or before 11, whether there's actually been any difficulties that a curfew would actually enhance his ability to police here in the city of Fayetteville, issues of late night, delinquencies. And if he could speak to that on that May 27th meeting, that'd be welcome. Thank you.
So, Councilmember Benavente, I don't, is the chief still here? Yeah, okay. Everybody has heard your request. When we were upstairs tonight talking, on May 27th, they are going to present us the curfew and have the questions that we have asked so we can approve it or disapprove it. But as of right now, this is to, we really don't need to take action. It is basically just to say we are starting the process and that we are informing the public.
Yes, Madam
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem. That's why I just added my question
I'm
since
sorry,
I wasn't able to get this meeting earlier.
I apologize. I forgot there is a motion on the floor. So are we, Councilmember Hondros?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just want to reiterate, we did have some discussion upstairs about how the youth protection ordinance would be implemented, and as stated now, we were told that on the 27th we'd have more of that information. So I look forward to that. I just want to add, since last Monday, I've spoken to members of our state delegation. The ones that I've spoken with all agree that a task force is not only recommended or suggested, but is prudent. And a couple of them even offered that there are state resources that could be part of that task force. So that's why I supported this motion again tonight. Thank you.
Okay, again, any other questions? All right, let's vote. Does everybody understand the motion? Please restate the motion.
Yes, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. There was a motion made last month, so if there was, or last time we met, so if I'm not saying it precisely, what I intend to say is that before we approve any type of ordinance, we get a full accounting from city staff of their recommendations on how to approach juvenile safety issues in conjunction with partners, actual discussions with actual people in the community, at the General Assembly, and of course with all the other departments within the county before we institute any sort of ordinance not in conjunction with the partners that are necessary to make this a successful effort.
Okay, Council Member Hundress, are you seconding? Okay.
And Mayor Pro Tem and council members, happy to take the direction on the motion, as we did last time as well. Staff and trying to figure out how we will implement it and make sure that it's done appropriately. We plan to reach out to those partners as well before your meeting on the 27th. So we don't have yet, I think, a full script as to what those interactions will look like. But I know that before we are able to enforce any ordinances like that, the police department and city attorney's office always go through and do those trainings and everything else. And so part of that this time as well, we'll be looking at those community partners who may be able to help us if willing. So regardless of how the motion falls, but to just want to say that that's something that we have to do, we believe, as a staff to be able to implement council's will one way or the other.
And kind of what we had talked about last week. So,
Also,
Council
then there should be no problem with everyone saying yes to it then.
So the mic is now to Councilmember Hondros. Are you seconding that? You good with that one?
I believe the motion's been made and seconded, but yes, I'll second it.
He restated. I just want to make sure that you were good with that. Okay, call the vote. Councilmember Benavente?
Green.
All right, that motion fails 4-5. Motion to adjourn? Thank you.